What is up, everybody? This is Matt Parks. We are back today for the Elite 8 start of the first ever Esports March Madness bracket. I'm joined here with Lavelle Wan, CEO of the Brag House. Lavelle, how are you doing today? Lavelle?
Yep.
All right, there we go. Sorry about that. So how are we doing today? How do you feel about the competition? Are you excited for the Elite 8?
I am excited. The first ever Elite 8 of our Esports March Madness bracket. It's looking good. We have some of the top teams that went in the past few days. So I am pretty excited to see how everything's going to go today.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I know one of the big things that we discussed, yesterday was, team strategies, how team strategies were going to work. What is something that you really saw out of the first Sweet 16 competition?
Well, I mean, it's interesting to see, whether people thought to be in squads or not be in squads, to see how some of the squads help people out of the gulag or if they chose not to. There's a lot of different strategies, and I think some of them worked and some of them didn't work. But that was, I think, the issue of who's going to be in the squad or not. That was kind of, I think, the most prevalent strategy that I liked.
Absolutely. Now, I know that, a lot of people went back and forth with, some were solo queuing, some were definitely rolling, organized squads, some were just going with pickup groups. Did you notice any competitive advantages in yesterday's action by them doing that?
I mean, it kind of depends, because even if you're solo, you can still, go roll in a squad. So it's like, I saw it work for some people and I saw it didn't work for some people. I think we had some real close games yesterday. And that was the first time we saw that. So now that everyone has kind of laid out the competition, I'm really stoked to see how it is. And we got
Absolutely.
the guy Sergeant today, and you know what school he's playing for, right?
Oh yeah.
There you go. There you go.
So I mean, Texas Tech definitely, they showed up. They definitely, I think all the teams that we really have playing today, really were they demonstrated why they should be here. A lot of the gamers came with a lot of really unique strategies. Something that I think that some worked, like you said, some definitely didn't. Now today we have a couple different matchups, but first we have LSU, Texas at Austin. LSU really, really brought the noise, and they have a few of our largest turnout kill-wise players, including MJ Murillo as well.
I mean, MJ Murillo, that was a name that stuck out. Spooky Streams, that was a name that stuck out. I mean, they definitely made names for themselves. So, and then after that, we have Freedom. Freedom J, came on the other day, yesterday, gave us some love. So I think that's awesome. And I know we're actually going to get some people later on today that actually did not make it past the Sweet 16, kind of get their take on strategy. So that'll be interesting to kind of see what they thought of the competition, because they were actually in the matches though.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now you and I were having kind of an interesting conversation earlier in relation to like the gulag and some of the player strategies. Do you want to share, I thought what you were saying was really interesting. Do you want to kind of share what you noticed yesterday about the gulag differences?
Well, it's interesting. So it's like people, it's if you die in the gulag and, you generally just, if you lose that battle, you'll just go back. But, your squad could pull you out if you play in a squad. And, that it could have like a 30, 40-second advantage. Could not, though. So it's like, it's really interesting. I was interested to see how people played that.
Absolutely, absolutely. So right now we're seeing our first gulag action. Now, this is a single player, Sergeant Bean 13, representing Texas at Austin. He's had a pretty good history of gulag fights. I think that MJ Murillo, I think by far of all the players in this game, had the best, run of like consistent wins inside. I believe our top player as of right now is Alex Killjoy, who actually I think won almost every single gulag engagement he had. So now he's walking in. Now what this does is it gives an opportunity for the player to kind of fight his way back into the game. So he can go, it's a 1v1 in a closed, kind of encapsulated room. Pretty much one person walks out. That person gets to respawn into the game. The other person, unfortunately, isn't so lucky, has to go back to the menu and restart. So what Lavelle's saying is that, the people that had a squad yesterday, even after you died, you'd still be able to jump out, have, one of your squad mates revive you, bring you back into the game via a buy, but drop you right back in without that menu time. And that 2 minutes definitely adds up. So what we just saw there was Sergeant Bean, go in there. He was going solo queued. And, when he lost, unfortunately, that was his last opportunity. So now he has to go back to the menu, start over. So some of these players that even are choosing to go with random pickup groups, they lose that opportunity for kills by sharing, some of the burden of damage. But at the same time, they're also maximizing their survivability.
Yeah. So, I mean, you kind of think, do you share your, because every man for himself. So it's like sharing kills, that's not going to help with that.
Absolutely. So, Lavelle, I know this is now the third day of the tournament. We're out of the Sweet 16. Definitely a crazy turnout. Some of the big teams that we thought were going to show up, definitely it's esports is a completely different domain. But for everyone that's just now joining us, this is the first ever esports March Madness bragket. So, the brag house is behind it. You guys came up with the concept. You guys, brought this to the people. What is the brag house? What is the esports bragket? And how did you guys come up with such an awesome idea?
Thanks, Matt. So the brag house, we started the brag house is that we wanted to make a community of people who love college sports. And that community is something that we didn't see. It's like you have your various social media sites, but no one really embraced how we watch sports, the way we watch sports, the community that, is involved in it. It's we have game predictions, we have the social aspect around it. So we actually said, hey, you know what, let's make a platform that embraces all of that, all of the college sports and the entire community behind it. So I think that's how it came about. And we were really psyched. We had a great beta testing for our app. It was awesome. And then obviously COVID happened and it kind of was a change of pace for everyone. It impacted everyone. But I think it opened up an even greater opportunity that would have naturally progressed anyway, but it kind of brought in esports. So a platform where we can still embrace that community, but we can do it remotely, we can do it digitally, just as we're doing right now.
Absolutely. So, I know in the last couple of days we've seen a lot of different schools, reach out, show a lot of love, a lot of students. I've seen everything from Go Texas Tech to some definitely not as nice, things after games. So, what made you guys kind of think, let me combine college sports with esports? I know esports, like as we said the other day, esports is traditionally like a lot of teams that you may or may not have any relation to. This is the first time that you can take like a household name, a whole family like loves UF, they love FSU, at least for, down here in Florida. But it's something that you can instantly attach to, and you can attach that team representation. And we've already heard, I believe, two different players mention that team spirit is a big reason that they, got involved. They are proud to represent their school. How did you guys come up with that concept to focus on college sports, and how are you guys focusing on college?
So I think we looked and we saw, how do we give the community the passion, the rivalry when you see this other school on the other side. Texas and LSU was a huge rival in football last year, a big game that we didn't do too well in, but still nonetheless a big game. So we were saying, how do we combine that same, stuff in the climate that we have now? And if you look at esports, I think it was actually Freedom who said it yesterday from Virginia Tech. He was like, it's undiscovered. People enjoy doing it, but it's like there's no set rules to it. So we just said, hey, you know what? We didn't see anyone doing that. It's either your esports or your traditional sports. And we said, let's put those together and make a platform where people can actually do the same. Something that we can marry it, where people understand the traditional sports, but they're playing these games for their school pride. And I think everyone has came out to show their school pride. I know I get hyped when I see someone playing for Texas. And I mean, as you can see from some of the tag names that everyone has in LSU, that people are pretty excited.
Absolutely. So right now, let's jump into the game real quick. I just want to update everybody on kind of what you're seeing. So right now, this is Sargent, big player, really honestly big outcome especially for a single player representing a school by himself. Now he's representing Texas at Austin. Yep. Over here on our other screen, we have a split of the entire LSU team. So we have H. Hal, Spooky Streams, and of course MJ Murillo. Now Spooky Streams, I believe, was our top fragger in their first game. So I'm really looking forward to seeing kind of what they're doing. Now they aren't playing together, they're not in a squad, so it's going to be really interesting to see what these two kind of do differently and see which one comes out on top. Right now, official score, Sergeant Bean has 1 kill. We're still waiting on an update on LSU. But as of right now, Texas has the only confirmed kill.
Yeah. And I mean, I think when they start off on Friday, Sergeant Bean was real surgical. And he was like, he's actually, I'm going to try to see if he can come on later, kind of talk to us, guess will kind of depend on how he does in this game. But I know he was real surgical. And we saw that the first game was kind of just shoot him up. Everyone was like, just get out there. How many kills? Then we saw on the second day and Saturday, everyone said, okay, hey, especially I think it started with UVA, really strategic on how they did it. Everyone had a position. Everyone had something they did. And whatever worked best, they said, okay, we're going to focus on that. So, I'm pretty interested. But yeah, I think Sergeant Bean, Texas, has the first score, the first confirmed kill.
Now, I know that today's later games, just for everybody, again, just now joining us, we still have Gonzaga versus Virginia Tech, another really, really big game. Of course, we have somebody coming back to help us host that. UVA versus Vanderbilt later on this evening, as well as Texas Tech versus Ohio State. So if you're just now joining us, if you haven't already filled out your esports bracket, what you can do is go over to thebraghouse.com, fill out your esports March Madness bracket, represent your school, show some love, and honestly win some really cool prizes. They're giving away things like cash, Amazon Fire Sticks, I think like different packs of tile, like the location trackers for different devices, your car, anything. Like a lot of cool prizes, super practical stuff that everybody could use. And if you love esports, if you love college ball, you're going to have a lot of fun anyway. So jump in, win some cool stuff, and come and watch the rest of the Elite Eight as well as the Final Four and championship game next week.
Yeah, I think you're right. A lot of people, my phone's blowing up today and people were like, hey, is it too late? I just heard about this. It's not too late. Seriously, you can still, even if you don't get the full prize, which I think, it's not too far off from that because there's a lot of busted brackets yesterday. Absolutely. But we give prizes for, you can do well in a day and still get a prize for just that particular Elite 8 or Final Four. So not too late. Sign up now.
So here we have H. Hal dropping into a warm-up. Spooky Streams is currently sitting on the main menu, going back inside. Now it looks like he's solo queuing. We have MJ Murillo finally dropping into his first match here in a couple minutes. Meanwhile, Sergeant Bean in the Gulag unfortunately got defeated. Now here's H. Howe, also representing LSU. Now he had a really good week last week. You know, his first game, he got quite a few kills. He was definitely playing a little bit slower, but I think that he's probably going to pick up the pace a little bit after we've kind of seen in the Sweet 16 that run and gun approach to things is definitely what wins.
Spooky Streams, I love your name. LSU Trap House, great name. So LSU came off the national championship in football. So I feel like they're playing for a lot of pride. It's like you want to be the first ever to win a championship in what we hope will come a phenomenon. Then this is you have to step up that play.
Absolutely. So back over to H. Hal. So this is actually going to be MJ Murillo dropping in, and then it looks like right now we got all four players actually are all right now in either warm up or just now dropping in. So here we have MJ Murillo finally on the ground, picking some stuff up.
Sergeant Beans dropping in, Texas.
Now, one thing you guys will notice is, yesterday, the day before, a lot of our top fraggers were also the exact same people that were just running and gunning. They weren't spending a lot of time camping. They weren't spending a lot of time, moving around. And if they did move around, they moved around in armored vehicles, making sure that they didn't get attacked or die easily. We saw a really interesting play yesterday. One of the most interesting games, at least yesterday for me, I think was probably going to be Texas Tech versus Texas A&M. Seeing, some of those games on Saturday, the one thing that was really interesting is Alex Killjoy, he really strategized with his squad on what to do, how to maximize his kills. We definitely know that he's been, keeping close tabs on his competition, studying other players, and we definitely saw that come out when he scored 13-7 against the University of Cincinnati.
He was really strategic, Matt, and I know you liked him a lot. He came in and he asked a lot of questions. He got into make sure that, he understood how people were playing, and I think he executed it. So we saw a lot from him. Matt, what do you think about that strategy of riding around in cars and?
Well, we saw the armored car approach, work really well. A couple different squads kind of used that, getting a 3-man group into a car, riding around. Gives you a little bit of armor, but more importantly, gives you a lot of mobility.
Yeah.
Now, in my experience, obviously, me and Devon were talking about this yesterday. The strategy of vehicles is, it's a two-way street. If you know what you're doing and you know how to drive them and you know how to maneuver them really well, you could be one of the most destructive things on the map. However, if you don't know what you're doing, you're asking for a quick death. You know.
So it's interesting though. So I'm really excited about today's matches too because we thought we were going to see it yesterday. We have obviously it's every man for himself. We don't we don't combine the kills. It's individual kills. But it has been consistent that the people with more than one player on their team have moved on. So I don't know if, do you think that gives an advantage psychologically or for some reason?
Well, I really thought what you brought up about the gulag, that was like a deep level game analysis. Some people were obviously having their teammates kind of farm cash to get them back, respawn earlier. One of the things I like about the way you guys did this tournament, and the most important thing about Battle Royale is that it's kind of what's going to happen. Who knows, and you can't really pretend to know. We've seen, we were joined by one of our, kind of all-stars from the very first week of the competition. I believe 2 days ago, Freedom J836 joined us. We were able to talk to him about the competition. The first thing he said was, it's all chance. It comes down to where you land and how well you navigate after you land. And I think, battle royales are very much that. So the fact that you guys let people kind of choose, all right, do you want to drop it in a squad? Do you want to drop in single? If you think you're that good and you're not really worried about, like surviving one-on-one or one-on-three interactions, you can drop in as a single queue player, guarantee yourself more kills. But that 3-person pack, I think, obviously showed its benefit as the leaderboard has kind of shown, who's rising to the top.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I agree with that totally.
So right there, we have a player that just literally backed out to the menu. He's not seeing enough like players in that area. He thinks it's gonna be faster. Just boom, I'm gonna drop out right now. Let me get into a new match.
Yeah, and Gulag kills are not counted in the scoreboard. I heard someone ask that.
Absolutely. If you guys have any questions, if you guys have any love you want to show for your school, feel free to let us know in the chat. Definitely, looking forward to seeing some of the team love. Some of the love definitely got a little aggressive in the past couple of days. Team representation is definitely at its fullest. But I thought it was interesting. The teams that had the heaviest amount of representation in the chat, LSU had a lot of fans cheering it on. Our chat was pretty much completely Hokies chat for about 45 minutes. When you saw those teams kind of have that extra love, you also saw them really, really rise above the top.
Well, Matt, honestly, it's like that point is exactly why we started the Brag House. And it's like, we want to build that around the same reason, that community of why people love college sports. So the people here are playing, and they're playing their hearts out for their schools. This is school pride. It's like they care about, their reputation. They care about, strong gamers coming out. And it's like, as Matt said, is if there's something that, something that you want to show your school pride for, some type of competition or something that you want to bring to us, let us know. Because that's all about starting that community.
Yeah, I thought that was really interesting. We had a lot of people ask, what about doing like a one-on-one squad match? We had some other people ask, hey, have you guys thought about doing, where each school just gets one 3-man squad? And you guys are very open to doing more tournaments in the future. I know we probably aren't going to be getting a lot of the traditional college sports seasons this year. So I think it's going to be really helpful that you guys are kind of open to doing different esport models. I know yesterday you and I were talking, after the stream, you mentioned that you guys are, possibly working on a few other games you're trying to bring content to. One of them was really interesting. I know we don't want to give it away yet, but, guys, definitely check out the braghouse.com. Jump into the Brag House Esports bracket. It's a first of its kind where we really have that, university love, that home team love, meeting a traditional, sports kind of gamification model with one of the fastest growing new sports in the entire world. So, guys, you can join in from home. It's one of the only sports that I think are still actively going. Esports, if you haven't found a passion for it, you probably haven't watched it with the right team. You probably don't know what team you want to, get behind. The Brag House has made it really easy to still represent that team that you already love, that you already have, a lot of memorabilia. You can wear the same, Hokies jersey. I think I've seen, boom, Lavelle has a Texas jersey or a Texas shirt on right now. It's something that really lets you jump into a very new sport, but it's a sport that's only going to continue to grow. So you might as well get in now, have some fun with our bragket, and see if you guys can win some cool prizes.
Yeah, you know what? You can do all that same thing and win a little cash doing it. We still have a grand prize of 15,000 brag bucks, $500 cash. Just test your luck.
Absolutely. So, Lavelle, do me a favor. Tell me a little bit more about, the Brag House. I know you guys, you just finished your app beta. Now you guys are doing the esports bracket. You guys just did an awesome NCAA, football tournament, competition where you guys actually sent somebody to the national championship game.
We did.
Tell me a little bit more about the Brag House and what's behind it and what your focus is.
So, our focus, I think the other thing that the big part of that too is in order to start this community, you need to listen to the community. So we took a lot of time to see what the community, what did you want, and that's why I think we kind of slowly rolled that out. we had we still have some awesome interns as part of the company, and they kind of, we just kind of, they went out, they reached out to their student body, and they were like, hey, what do you guys want to see? What kind of competition do you want? What type of prizes and incentives you want? So that's why we feel really confident with our platform too, because we just kind of listened to what people said, and kind of like grew about it. We try to just grow from that. So, what Bragg House is, it's a community. It's literally a community around college sports. It's still one of the biggest markets there is. And, you can't replicate your love of your college. You just can't. Whether, you'll never forget your fight song. You never forget, your favorite, game, your team, your school spirit, your colors. Those things will just stay with you forever. So.
One of the things I think is really interesting that you guys really you guys have a pretty close pulse on, actual, what's going on at colleges, what do the students look for. I know yesterday you mentioned that you guys actually work with a lot of college students to really get that, what is the community wanting, what can we do to improve? Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So we actually had one of our college students on yesterday, from VT, and to see the love that they shout out for their school, it was just amazing. It was amazing. I mean, they literally came in with an entire, comment board of just everyone from VT supporting their school. And the same thing with Ohio State, and the same thing with Texas, and all the schools, so, but I think you got to see, it's kind of like, his name was Dawson, our intern said, he was like, I think our biggest brag of the Bragg House is community.
Absolutely. I mean, you guys have a big community. You guys are continually investing into it. I know you guys just came out with your own, kind of social media platform just for talking sports, nothing else. A lot of people are sick of the traditional, I guess you could say social media networks, a lot of the stuff that you see on them these days, so you guys wanted to create just a hub for people who enjoy sports.
That's it. And that's what we're doing. It's like, you asked what's in the future for it. We're going to do all that. We're going to create an even better social element, which we just haven't seen any platform kind of have those things. It's, the same traditional social medias, but nothing's dedicated specifically to college sports. So, especially in the climate we are now, and esports being such a huge platform, I think it marries very nicely though.
Absolutely.
DJ Murillo is going off now.
I'm noticing that. Yeah, that's who we're focusing on right now. So, he played really hard last week. I think he's going to continue to play hard today. He's definitely a more relaxed player. He doesn't seem to really go for the hunt. He'll find a position. If he gets a few kills there, he'll hang out for a few minutes and kind of see if he can get some more frags. Now he's throwing up a drone, so he's actually going to go start looking around for people using his drone.
Yeah, we enjoyed watching him. Like I said, his name really stuck out last time we were watching.
Absolutely. So let's go ahead and get back over real quick while he's doing a drone scout. So now we are looking at Spooky Streams. So Spooky Streams, definitely a heavy killer in the first match. Top fragger for LSU. Now, did he have the spurt that MJ Murillo had? No, but he was consistent the entire match, which led him to being top fragger for LSU and obviously leading them to the win.
Yeah.
And I'm really enjoying his play style. He's very much run and gun. As you guys are seeing right now, I don't think he's stopped in a single room longer than a few seconds to get loot or try to take kills. But he is absolutely killing it again today as well.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I play. I like that style. I like run and gun and just go.
Now, I do want to focus a little bit more on Murillo. Now, Murillo is officially leading LSU, and our official score, he has 5 representing LSU. So it is currently 5 LSU to 2 Texas at Austin.
Come on, Texas! We actually have a intern from LSU who's phenomenal in the school spirit, and again, how we kind of started, we literally asked just asked in the schools, like, hey, do you want to show school pride? Do you have any people who would want to game? And the outpour was actually pretty amazing. So we can see that, we have 16 teams that represent their school. We can see that easily being 64 teams, next year.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, let's go ahead. We're going to back out real quick. This is the 3 view. So this is all of LSU's players. I just want to go ahead and review from top left going clockwise. So top left, we have H. Hal. Top right, we have Spooky Streams. And bottom right, we have MJ Murillo. So MJ Murillo is currently leading the pack. He's dropping in again. Again, if you do notice, he is leading in kills. He is the only of the 3 LSU players representing himself in a squad instead of solo queued. Bringing us back to what me and Lavelle first mentioned when we first started streaming today. Now we'll go back over to Sergeant Bean representing Texas at Austin. Now,
we're holding you down. We got you here. Don't worry about it.
He's got 2 kills, so we're going to see what he can do. Now, he is definitely taking his time getting to the ground. I think he's trying to scout where does he want to drop.
Yeah.
So he's going for a loadout, I'm almost positive. Fell to his death.
Oof.
Definitely not going to be what he was planning on trying to do, I'm sure. So over here we have... This is H. Hal. Now, so H. Hal looks well geared. Another death there. Into the gulag he's going. So we'll go ahead and cut the camps away for a second. Now, what you're going to notice is when he gets in there, you only have 1 weapon, 7 rounds pretty much in your magazine. If you don't get your target down there, chances are you're not going to get another chance. Boom. So it looks like his opponent was AFK, so that was a lucky one. He gets to now drop back in. Again, this is what we were talking about when we were mentioning, guys, if you jump in solo, if you don't win that fight, you're going to have to get out to the menu, jump back in. Now, a good example of that is right here, where we're looking at Spooky Streams having to jump right back in. Unfortunately, also solo queued, decided that, or didn't decide, but, obviously died, went to the gulag, didn't win, now he's in the menu. Whereas, boom, H. Hal already back in the game.
Yeah.
Now here's MJ Murillo, who had an awesome kill-death ratio inside of the gulag in the last game. Didn't disappoint just there either. Fast work made it look super easy. So Lavelle, today we are playing through all of the Elite 8. After today's stream, I believe that our next games are next Friday, and that's going to be for the Final 4 in the championship.
Yep, that's right. We have a game Friday evening. We have a game Saturday afternoon. That would be for the Final 4. And then we have a championship game, the first ever, as you mentioned, Matt, Esports champion. Esports March Madness champion will be Sunday.
Awesome. So I'm super excited to stay tuned. I know my bracket isn't quite bust. I'm still holding on. I think I can go all the way to the championship depending on how some of the games go today. But I know that we've definitely had a lot of brackets busted. We've had a lot of ones that are completely made. It seems like some people almost predicted it. How's your bracket doing?
I think I have Texas going all the way, so it kind of depends on this right here. So got to always lead with the home school, whether it's rational or not.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So I do want to go ahead. Let's scroll through just a couple of our big winners. So we still have Jessica H., one of our top, Bossman LJ, one of our top, let's see, another high percentage so far, OHBH, big one. I'm assuming that's an Ohio State fan for Bragg House. That's,
yep.
Let's see. So we have Nick Anderson at 46%, Joe Rassick 46%. We have a lot of people that have a very, very healthy win ratio on their brackets. I'm definitely not that high, so we'll see how the rest of it goes. But I still have hope. I believe our top on the entire platform right now is Jack Mars from LSU. So Jack Mars, if you're watching from LSU, I believe you are leading on our entire esports bracket right now. Now, what the winner is going to end up with is, yes, along the way we're going to be giving away tons of prizes. We're going to be giving away like JBL speakers, Alexa Fire Sticks, all different types of really, really cool stuff as we're going through the competition. Now, the big win, whoever is the top bragger with the best bracket is going to win 15,000 brag bucks and up to $500 cash.
That's exactly right. And I mean, 15,000 brag bucks, that will give you a lot of opportunities along to with some that the equivalent to certain cash and even more prizes, but a lot of opportunities to win endless amounts of game predictions, and which obviously our game predictions you can win cash and prizes for, all for free. So it's pretty attractive. And then we just want to give some good hard-earned cash, because who doesn't want hard-earned cash?
No, cash is king.
Yeah.
Well, cash is king, but brag bucks, I can jump on the platform and I can make more money. So that's actually, I think that's probably a little bit better. Especially if you guys are going to keep doing esports competitions. Any esports fans, this is really like one of the first, things like this. I've never seen another esports, college anything. So the brag houses, I really see this going somewhere, guys. I really like what you guys have done here and how you guys have come up with the competition.
Thanks, Matt. I mean, yeah, we appreciate it. Like I said, it all started from something very simple. We wanted to just, focus on the college sports. People love college sports, that kind of, passion that you get. And we said, hey, how do we combine a platform that has all of that? That has the social element, that has the competitiveness. I think when we had a couple of our special guests on last time, they were like, I really like competitiveness. And that's what we want to bring. We want to bring the same thing. That's another reason why we went to esports, because, it's like you already pick a competitive sport. When people play like Call of Duty, which, we thought would be a great game, you bring that same energy and competitiveness to already the love you have for your school. So it's like, it was an easy marriage for us.
Absolutely. And I mean, obviously, as we've seen, the fans are really enjoying it. We've definitely seen, a high representation of a few different schools, as we mentioned earlier. Today is the first games of the Elite Eight, so I'm really excited to see, what kind of turnout we're going to have today, how many people are going to be repping their schools, and of course, who's going to win. We've already seen quite a few upsets. We've had a lot of divisive and controversial outcomes based off just a few key mistakes that we've seen from a few players. Ultimately, we've seen just a lot of, honestly, just, MJ Murillo. We've seen Alex. We've seen quite a few players just completely kind of take over as if they are already experts at this game. I know we saw Cincy 4 drop 19 points yesterday for Ohio State.
Yeah.
We saw Squiggle drop 19 points for Texas Tech. Alex Killjoy 13 for Vanderbilt. Yesterday's games, there was just a lot of action.
Yeah, I think we're actually really excited to see the Ohio State Texas Tech game later on, because all those players were very skilled players, all ranked pretty much dead even. And it's like now we have 3 players coming in here. Both teams have three players coming in. So I mean, whether I'm curious to see what strategies that we have there linked.
Absolutely.
And that's why it's like you look at the March Madness thing where you say upsets. It's like that's what people play March Madness for. So I think we can still see some pretty big upsets in esports right now today.
Absolutely. I think we've already, seen a couple yesterday. We definitely saw some the first day. I think that, in the next couple of days, I think we're really going to start seeing things unfold, especially as we discussed earlier and talked about, a few key players are really watching the competition, and that's only going to increase the competitive edge as we continue to progress. So another drop in. As of right now, Spooky Streams is back in the menu, waiting for another game.
How's the Sarge doing for Texas?
So as of right now, the Sarge unfortunately just died, so he's backing out to the menu. Let's see. If he can win this fight, he will be able to get back into the ring. So what's the score? The official score? As of right now, the official score is 7-6 7-6. Now, Sergeant Bean is winning for Texas. So Texas is winning 7-6 against LSU.
Wait, actually, he's gonna have to come back.
Listen up, soldier. Win here and you
All right, here we go. So here's Sergeant Bean going into the gulag. Fast victory.
I gotta open this shirt just a little bit more.
There we go.
Just a little bit more.
Now, he is a competitive player. He knew he was by himself from the beginning, was not worried about representing the school, loved the idea of doing, kind of a all for one, one for all kind of approach to our tournament scoring. And, thus far, like he's taken the lead. He started off a little bit quieter, a little bit slower. He was the player who actually backed out of the match because he wasn't near enough players. And I think he learned that from the first day. He saw what happens when, hey, listen, I drop somewhere. It's not the best drop. It's going to waste less time for me to back out, jump into a fresh match, and jump into the middle of a hot zone and fight my way out of it.
Take it to the circle real quick. Go, McGarry, watch it. Go.
enemy personal radar in the air.
I think the Sarge is dropping back in.
Right, let's move. Gas is closing in.
All right, so again, right here we're seeing Sarge now in a squad with other players.
Yeah. And again, that was the big conversation, that we had earlier. But I think people picked up on that even at the beginning. I know your favorite Alex Killjoy was asking about that and from the first day, and he had some great strategy. I think he's probably the most strategic. So I'm actually excited to see him play. He plays today, 5:30 to 6:30 against UVA. UVA, I think the entire team were very strategic players. So again, you're seeing the highest level of competition coming out.
Oh yeah, I am very, very excited to see the rest of our games this afternoon. Especially, really Gonzaga. Aim Juden, another player that single-handedly represented, brought out the victory. His play style was really interesting. I know all of us were very impressed by that.
Yeah. So we're talking about, I think, in MJ Marilla riding around. What we were talking, another strategy we were talking about.
Absolutely. So we can fade back over to him.
Mark out, I'm going.
Using the heartbeat sensor the whole way up the stairs. It's a pretty strategic play. I think he's really thinking cautiously about, survivability. Seeing some players that are just, going a little bit slower, a little more cautious.
And then we saw some great scope kills yesterday, which were really impressive.
Absolutely.
From like
some
way
long
out.
shots.
Yeah.
So now this game did start right at 3. So we have about 20 minutes left of this match.
And it is still close. And I think that's what we like, And I think we started seeing that yesterday, how close the games are. So I think this is where strategy really, really, really becomes something. Because you know what? Those 30, 40 seconds don't matter until they matter.
Absolutely. Now today we are seeing a couple different players on different platforms. That is another really interesting thing that, we saw and the way Bragg House did this competition. The new Call of Duty Warzone just came out a few weeks ago. I don't even believe the official game makers have an esports scene developed around it yet. I think they're working on that. You guys, got this out, got it out for the players, got it out for the schools and all the college students that are at home, maybe not even in the video games, but just missing their school, missing their, their friends, their athletes. I know I followed every single player, not even if it was my sport, but just to know my school. So this still gives that attachment to your school pride. So if you guys haven't filled out a bracket, if you're just now joining us, this is the first ever Esports March Madness bracket. So you can still join us by going to thebraghouse.com, click March Madness on the top menu, and fill out your bracket. It takes less than 2 minutes, and you'll still have 3 more games today that you guys can be winning points from.
Right, that's enough
Yeah, I think what you said, Matt, is so true. So we even just talking, we were in a position, a very unique position, to kind of come out pretty fast. You know, like the brackets got canceled. The traditional March Madness brackets got canceled like March 16th. You know, that's not that long. That's less than a month. That's less than a month from now. And so in like 3 weeks, we had to, you know, our team had to build, you know, a platform, put this entire concept together, market it, and put it out there. Which, you know, we're very happy with. But again, we're in a position to do that because we listen to people, we listen to our interns, and they were just like, man, we just want something to do. You know, everyone in college is like, what do we do? You know, give us some sports. So we tried to listen to that, and that's another major motivation of why we were able to put this together and why we did it.
Absolutely. Well, I know everybody's been really happy so far. There's been a lot of action. Even people who haven't, you know, really followed esports, followed video games in the past, have even like commented in the last couple of days saying that, you know, this is a really cool concept. They're interested in how, you know, how we came up with this. They didn't even know esports was a thing. So I think this is introducing a lot of traditional college fans to esports, while also introducing a lot of, you know, esports fans to the possibility of being a college, like, you know, team fan. You know, I know a lot of esports players, they know every single esports team by heart, but if you ask them who the starting lineup was for their school, they may or may not know. You know, so this is an awesome like kind of hybrid that allows two completely different types of sports fans to interact and have a community together.
You're right. And I think it also, you know, it gets, you know, what I love about esports just in general is that we're giving a platform to gamers. So this is just another platform for gamers. And I think actually it opens up a bigger platform for gamers that aren't like professional gamers, but literally just play all the time, and they have another platform to align themselves with, and that's their school spirit.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, what was one of the big things that you really noticed yesterday from Spooky Streams that impressed you? I know both of us really thought that he was take away one of the better players at LSU. You know, obviously their top fragger. I know MJ Murillo also had a lot of talent. What are your thoughts on those two players? You know, right now they are both very close to leading for LSU.
Yeah, I mean, Spooky Streams was a running gun player, and I just like that type of play. So he kind of just took charge and just went off, and you know that's I like that strategy. I feel like, you
Absolutely.
know, he's still doing that strategy now. I think I feel like MJ Murillo went off as well. I think it's being a little bit more strategic in this one right here.
8-kill game on the last.
Definitely is moving a little bit slower. Definitely moving a little bit slower. But you know, that being said, he's only 2 kills behind right now. Actually, I'm
Oh
sorry, no,
yeah,
he's actually leading over Spooky Streams right now by 2 kills.
yeah. Oh yeah. No, he's his strategy is he's definitely taking charge.
So let's go look at our boy over at Texas, Sergeant Bean. So he is, as of right now, moving a little bit slower, getting down to a smaller circle size.
Texas
Definitely
still
saw
holds
somebody in that
a
window.
1 point lead, but you know, if people don't know, we're scoring unofficially to try to keep up with you guys, but we have official scores, and official scores. We have people, you know, looking at the scores, and when they die, checking in with the scores, giving them the green light to move on. So we report the scores officially and unofficially if we can.
Get yourself a proper warm-up. We'll be always deployed.
So as of right now, once again, you know, this here is Sergeant Bean. You know, he's representing Texas. Another kill on the board, trying to really secure that win. Meanwhile, all 3 separate LSU players in the middle of firefights. Now 2 of those in warm-ups, 1 in the game. Unfortunately, he's not connecting with any kills, and he just got found by somebody. Unfortunately, did not win the engagement.
Mm.
Playtime's over, mate. You're going to the war zone. Playtime's over, mate. You're going to the war zone.
So we're getting our first 2 drops.
Battle Royale. Set a drop point
We're just under 50 minutes, Matt.
I know, and it is a super, super close score. As of right now, the most recent official score is still 6-7. I believe we're confirming an update.
So it's times like this where I just have to chant our Texas theme songs to keep us on. Texas fight, Texas fight, Texas fight.
Well, it's working. Sergeant Bean is up right now, 9-6. LSU Wildcats did just win the National Football Championship, so it's really interesting to see. I know a couple of the players mentioned, it'd be awesome to be able to represent the Wildcats during this time, especially while all traditional college sports are kind of out the window. I think that they really brought the energy the first day.
Yeah.
It looks like they're both bringing it today. I just don't know if MJ Murillo is playing the same style, that same exact running gun. As you said, it does seem like he's being a little more strategic today. I don't know if that's giving him an advantage.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know because I think everyone played strategic yesterday, hands down, and we still saw some super high scores. I think it was very effective. Literally, I would say the opposite of what we saw the first day, but it worked. So, I think it's kind of like what Freedom said, and when he came on our show yesterday, he came and he said, hey, anybody could do this any given day,
Absolutely.
So, just like football and any given Sunday. the esports version.
No, absolutely. Now, one of the things that is definitely kind of interesting is like any given Sunday kind of takes on a whole different level here when a lot of these players, you may have heard of them, you may have heard of their stream handle. We have quite a few pretty large streamers that are working with us in this competition. But one of the big questions that I have is I wonder how many people would want their college to have an esports team. That's becoming a more and more frequent thing. I know we've had a lot of people just reach out to us saying, hey, how do we get something like this started at our school? So, Lavelle, if somebody's interested in kind of getting their school involved, getting their friends involved, even just to represent the school in one of our esports tournaments, how would they go about doing that?
I just think the best way really is just go to thebraghouse.com. That's our website. And, just kind of check us out and, leave us a message. We welcome people to, that's like I said, I think that's one of the important things that kind of separates us from other platforms is our main goal is the community. So in order to do that, we have to listen to the community to see what they want. So I think there's a lot of different opportunities. I'm sure there are a lot of things that we haven't discovered that could even be better. And we want to do that. We want to give them to this pride to do it. So I would just say, reach out to us, shoot us an email, just let's, and we'll talk about it.
Absolutely. So you guys can reach out for all the people that were asking yesterday, for all the people that were asking on Friday, the ones who are interested in trying to, get their school involved, get an esports team into one of the next esports brackets. Feel free to just go on thebraghouse.com. While you're filling out your bracket, you can reach out, leave them a message. They'll work with you to try to get, your school and you online. So here again is Sergeant Bean, still leading the pack.
Sarge.
Now the helicopter is something we haven't seen a lot of use out of. He just got a kill with it. Yeah, the helicopter's awesome.
Come on, Sarge, with helicopter.
Over on LSU side, we got two people in a match. One just now dropping in. We have one person just now loading up a fresh match. So it's going to be interesting to see as these official scores are updated, where is everybody at?
Yeah, I think we saw that. It's not over until it's over. We had a couple of awesome games yesterday. Both, I know Texas A&M and Texas Tech, we were trying to unofficially score it, and it looked like Texas A&M was ahead. And once we did the official score, Texas Tech by 2. Huge. So it's not over until it's over. I really think Gonzaga is going to come hard, though. I won't lie. I think I've been nothing but impressed by the love Virginia Tech between their players, their fans. They literally rallied around everything, which is the reason why we do this entire thing.
Absolutely, they were super excited yesterday.
Super excited.
That was the most hype I think we've seen in the whole tournament so far.
Yep. Oh, totally.
And of course, Devon Morgan joined us. For those who don't know, NFL star with the Eagles, as well as VT Hokie for Life and well-known Hokies player. I think he definitely helped generate a ton of hype. He was there cheering on the VT guys, and Lavelle, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think even at a few times he was even like coaching the players through the stream, just mentioning like, "Oh, come on, man, you gotta do this, you gotta do this."
He got in, and it's like it was really cool. And I asked him, I said, "Hey, you played professionally, at the highest level that you can play. That only 1% of the world gets to play in, professional football, the professional football league, And I was like, well, what do you think of this competition?" And he was hyped, and then he, I think, literally got off and just started playing. As soon as he got off, he started playing Call of Duty. Literally, didn't sleep playing Call of Duty.
There you go. Yeah, I know. Yesterday he was mentioning on the stream, he was even saying, like, "Hey, as soon as we get off of here, I'm jumping on." I think he even shared some of his Twitch info, or I think like BattleNet info with some of the viewers. So that was really cool of him.
Yeah, no. So that was pretty awesome.
So we are in 7 minutes left. I'm just gonna say that real quick. 7 minutes left remaining of this first round. Lavelle, you had some updates on the official score?
Yeah, Sergeant Bean just went up by 10 official kills. MJ Murillo, I don't know if his score has been updated yet. He's just still leading with 6 kills. Yeah, I don't know if he's been updated, but Sergeant Bean, we just updated him. 10 confirmed kills.
So it looks like boom. So there's Murillo with another kill.
I mean, Murillo's gone in. I think could we switch to like a dual screen with Murillo and Sergeant Bean for a sec?
Absolutely. So let's see.
And I would say probably Spooky Streams too, if we could, because he's close.
All right, guys. So we now have updated it just a little bit. So what we're gonna have is in the top left corner. What you're gonna notice is that you now have over there you have Spooky Streams and MJ Murillo, and then in our third lower right hand corner, that's where you're gonna see Sergeant B now.
I'm winning actually. See how it goes. Yeah. Anything can happen.
Sergeant Bean is dropping in.
Do my best here.
Get it this way.
Few different players dropping.
Huh?
So a few different players are dropping right now.
It's a good time. Now there's 5 minutes left, so I think it's probably going to be like one of our last plays that we see.
Let's see. 3:55. We got 5 minutes left. Now, as of right now, we have Spooky Streams still jumping in. We have 20 seconds left until he's actually live inside of a match where he's scoring points. Our other two players are, as of right now, one is dropping in. Now, again, guys, Sergeant Bean representing Texas, down lower right-hand corner. Once again in a truck. He used the truck yesterday to almost sadistic level advantage when taking on opponents. Let's see if he can secure that win. So we are waiting for an official score update.
Sergeant driving that truck around.
Yeah, looking for somebody to frag.
Maintaining that lead. Come on. Find someone.
Just a few minutes left. 4 minutes left. Now, one of the things I've noticed, Sargent, really he hasn't found anybody in the last couple of minutes. It's going to be interesting to see if that has any kind of effect with Spooky Strange, MJ Murillo. Right now, their team score is officially still 6 with MJ Murillo leading them. We haven't gotten an official update on MJ Murillo in a little bit, so I'm wondering when we do, is it going to be beating Texas?
I mean, and he did that. We saw that a lot yesterday. Like I said, that's A&M and Texas Tech match. We were trying to score it unofficially, and we saw what happened.
Absolutely.
So, in 3 minutes, it could be a completely different score.
Now, I think yesterday that my favorite moment of that was Gonzaga. When the Gonzaga game happened, I think he was 3 to 4 kills down, and then the last 5 minutes came back. Right now we have 3 minutes left. It's 3:57. Game is officially over at 4 o'clock. As of right now, our official score still has Texas ahead by 4.
Come on.
He's looking for people.
I know.
Survive and you can redeploy.
Try to make you see him.
Enemy personal radar in the air.
Tricky.
All right, so here we go. We have Sergeant Bean going into the gulag.
Fight first, assistant sent. Marcado, I'm going. You can always have a go at these bastards while you're waiting. Give them some choice words or smash their mugs with a well-placed stone.
And this is kind of like what we talked about with terms of strategy. If he dies here, that's probably it.
He's over there.
With 2 minutes left.
Yeah.
Get yourself sorted. You're up next.
Alright, let's get closer.
Listen up, soldier. Win here and you return to the front line. If you lose,
Right now, 7 to 10.
you're up, soldier.
Oof.
He needs to get this. All right, so we had a death, unfortunately.
Oof.
Oh, one just threw a grenade at me.
So we'll come back over. Here's H. Hal.
There.
That'll probably be the last action that we get to see out
Yeah.
of Spooky Streams.
So it's really up to Spooky Streams and MJ Murillo. Official score for H. Howell, he has 7 now. So LSU is not out of it. We still haven't hit the 4 o'clock mark.
No way, he ran.
It's the gulag. They'll fight for a chance to redeploy.
He ran. He dropped the C4 over that way.
Time.
Boom, time.
think
So
we're
we
waiting.
are
We're waiting.
waiting for the official score for MJ Murillo, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think we're just trying to wait for MJ Murillo's score.
Teammate is redeployed. Stand by.
Alright, loot up.
All right, so it looks like MJ Murillo's final score as of 4 p.m. was 8. So Texas did win. Now, they will be progressing. They will be moving forward. Next up, we have Gonzaga versus Virginia Tech. So the Hokies have definitely had a lot of team love, a lot of representation. We'll see if that continues for later on today. Gonzaga brought a lot of noise. They were behind the entire match, really brought it out of nowhere to swing, I believe, 4 or 5 kills the last couple minutes, bringing a win. It's going to be a really, really interesting game, and it starts right back here on Brag House TV. If you're watching us on Twitch, if you're watching us on YouTube, stay tuned. It's going to be a short intermission. We will be back right at 4:15, and I want to just say, Lavelle, I absolutely, you, I think, called that right. You said Sergeant Bean's got this from the beginning. I called LSU after that first game. Definitely looks like my bracket is going bust. But if you haven't already filled out a bracket, you can go over to thebraghouse.com real quick, fill one out. By the time we are back from this intermission, you guys will be in the action for the remaining 3 games of the day. You guys can add that score, potentially win some prizes. So everybody...
Oh shit. Okay, hold on. Hey, Matt, you can show with audio.
Yo. Oh, that's bad.
Alrighty, guys, and welcome back to the first ever Esports March Madness bracket. I am here with the Brag House CEO, Lavelle Juan. I'm also joined by NFL superstar, Virginia Tech Hokie for life, Devon Morgan. What is up, gentlemen?
Oh, what's good, fellas?
What is going on?
So we have seen 2 days now of constant esports action. We saw a lot of highlights from both teams earlier today. Now, the Elite Eight definitely is going a little bit differently than the Sweet 16. Devon, I know who you're rooting for in this game. I don't have to ask.
You already know, baby. Go Hokies.
Oh, yeah. Now, Lavelle, who are you calling out to win? Gonzaga versus Virginia Tech.
I mean, I'm going to go for VT because Virginia Tech just came with all the fan love, and I also want to see Devon happy, so I'm going to go for that.
Hey,
but no,
I'm going to be happy, baby. I'm a Hokie, so you know how that goes.
no, but I mean, I'm still reveling in the first upset of our Esports March Madness bracket. Texas against LSU. That was a huge upset. I am very happy because obviously Texas represent, but I think I got Virginia Tech in this, and that's no disrespect, man, to Gonzaga. I mean, that guy played like tactical.
Yeah, Gonzaga and Juden really brought it.
Yeah, so no disrespect to him, but I like the poise and the strategy of Virginia Tech. Freedom was on yesterday, and I really like that guy. So I'm gonna go Virginia Tech, but we'll see.
Now, Freedom J joined us yesterday. As he said yesterday, it could really be anybody's game. Once you drop in, you don't really know how it's going to play out. We're allowing people to join in as squads. We're allowing people to join in as single queue. It's really all over the place. The one thing that I love about this is that it's the first time we've really taken something like esports and married it to a traditional sport like concept like March Madness. A lot of people, if you like traditional sports, if you've never heard of esports, you can still follow your favorite school. You can still show that team pride, that team love, while still jumping into something brand new that you can enjoy from home safely. If you're an existing esports fan, you've probably never put your favorite university and the word esports in a sentence together. Well, the Brag House is aiming to change that. So you can go over to thebraghouse.com, sign up for your first ever official March Madness bracket. Join in the fun. We're only in the second game of the Elite Eight. I know as of right now, Devon, your bracket is absolutely killing mine just based off our discussions in the past. Off of our competition yesterday, I think that we're about to see something really, really exciting. We're about to see something really, really interesting come out of Virginia Tech versus Gonzaga. So with that being said, it is officially 4:15. The match is getting started. Everybody's dropping in. Let's go ahead and focus on our players. So just so everybody can kind of see, top left corner right now, who we have is Aim Juden representing by himself Gonzaga. Yesterday, that wasn't a problem. He went up against 3 players, still brought home the W yesterday. Now, on our top right, we have Freedom J, who joined us yesterday during our live stream, talked to us a little bit about the competition, his competitive angle, what he's seeing as a player. That was really interesting. He is super, super proud to be representing Virginia Tech. Love the fact that Devon was rooting them on throughout the entire live cast. Bottom right now is Perry Rodney. Perry Rodney also brought a lot of noise. Now, I think Freedom J kind of stole a little bit of that light. Bottom right now. But other than that, guys, I think that, really we're seeing 2 evenly, pretty skilled teams go up against it right now. Now, all 3 of them are in warm-up. You can see the blue numbers counting down. You guys can see they're all about 26 seconds, 14 seconds, 40 seconds away from joining into their first match.
And shout out to Dawson, one of our Brag House interns, because he came really, really hard with the energy for Virginia Tech. And that's what it's all about. It's all about the energy. So it's like, we want to bring a platform where you can have your school pride just there. So that's a purpose of the Brag House. That's the reason why we started the Brag House. So it was good to see people embrace that.
Absolutely. So they are dropping in, getting ready to start their very first uphill battle to the Final Four. So we saw a lot of strategy yesterday coming out of Freedom J. We saw he definitely played differently, played a little bit more, passively, got his kills up, got the right loot he wanted, and then absolutely turned into a savage, running and gunning throughout the entire map. I think winning almost every single gulag fight that he had. It's going to be really interesting to see if he can do the same thing again today.
Dude, I can't even think about food right now. Cupcake sounds absolutely disgusting.
So again, guys, if you're just now joining us, this is Virginia Tech versus Gonzaga. Gonzaga is on the left-hand side of the screen. Virginia Tech on the right. Upper right and lower right, two different players. We have Freedom J, who joined us yesterday for our live cast, as well as bottom right, Perry Rodney. Now, Devon, I know you jumped on some Call of Duty yesterday. As you were watching, I think the thing you wanted to do most was try to jump in and play the game. Did you get into some Call of Duty? How were you playing yesterday?
Yesterday, man, I played pretty good. Most of my guys that I usually play with was already partied up, so I got to play with a bunch of randoms and I just kept screwed, man. Like, I had about 7 kills, and then I keep getting got from behind. Like, I'll run down on the team. I was on my run and gun stuff yesterday. I run down on 2 guys to get to them. There he is. Mark him so I can find him. Like, you keep saying there he is, you know what I mean? So, guys, when you playing games, man, be mindful of being tactical. Use the buttons. Like, let's go.
So let me ask you this, Devon, is a Virginia Tech Hokie alum, also obviously an NFL star. You live for competition. Now I know that you are a coach teaching how to, obviously win competitions. How do you feel about your Hokies right now? Like, obviously they brought the noise. I know you're hyped, but from watching them play, do you see them going Final Four? Do you see them going to the championship?
Easy peasy.
Okay, there we go. That's a perfect answer. Perfect answer.
Hey, shout out to all the players, though, man. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely about the players and that school pride.
So now, Lavelle, I'm glad you mentioned that. Now, for everyone just now joining us, the Bragg House. If you haven't heard of it, it's kind of this weird kind of unicorn, tech company. You guys are doing something completely new. It's not something that we see very often. Usually it's, constant reiterations of the same thing. You're not another Uber Eats. You guys are creating something completely new, specifically for colleges, aimed at college players, college athletes, and college sports fans. What made you guys come up with that college-specific concept, and how do you guys really work diligently to make sure you guys, are keeping that pulse on the community?
I think Devon probably could relate to this, playing in like a high atmosphere college, but even just, being a fan, it's like that community that you have when you're in college, it's something that, you just can't generate anywhere else. That rivalries, the school spirit, your fight songs. It's just something that, and it's not just about watching every single game or knowing, being able to recite like who all the players are. It's more just a feeling of just being there, with people that, get the same thing that you get. It's a community. So what we wanted to do is we didn't see any platform out there that had that community. People just use like social media, just to talk about how much they love their school. We wanted to kind of combine everything and put that one community that was out there. So, that's why we started the Bragg House.
And now you guys have, built a complete mobile app. You guys have come out with your mobile app. I know you guys have a really talented tech team. You guys have also rebuilt an entire social media element to your website. But you guys also rebuilt your entire website, if I'm not mistaken, adding an entire social media element. You guys went through and added an entire esports bragket. It was obviously intended for March Madness, intended for college basketball. When you guys saw, obviously the void being filled when those games started getting canceled, what made you guys say esports?
So we were just trying to think of, we went back to our core values and we said, well, what are our core values? We want to be able to, give people the rivalry, the fights, the, competition. And we wanted to do it at the highest level, but still being safe, still making people safe that they could do it remotely. And I think the best thing out there for that is esports. So, now you get the highest level of competition, but you still get to embrace your same team school spirit. I mean, as you saw when Texas was playing, I was jumping up out of my seat because, we saw the highest level and we saw 4 amazing players. They were all excellent players, ranked really high. So the highest of their fields, but we still got to cheer for our schools. So that's what it's about.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I'm glad that we're here. Thanks for inviting me and Devon to co-host with you. Now, I want to dive into something real quick. As we're seeing on the screen right now, where it's our first gulag fight. So who we're seeing right now is Perry Rodney in his first gulag battle. The way this works, boom, you get one shot. Whoever wins, wins. If you win, you get to respawn back into the match. If you lose, you're done. You got to go back to the menu. Lavelle mentioned earlier today we saw a lot of action just between, you know, people jumping in squads, being able to be bailed out, jump back in faster, versus somebody solo queuing that would then have to go back and start completely over from the menu. So that's, you know, a 2 to 3 minute competitive edge that you're going to have by working with a squad.
Yeah, someone dropped me like 30 ammo.
So Fausto said in the chat he sees some killers playing today. Absolutely. This is the Elite 8. You know, the last 2 days was the Sweet 16. We're now in the Elite 8, so this is definitely a higher tier level competition. This is all of our winners out of the Sweet 16. If you're just now joining us and you haven't already filled out an esports bragget, you can go over to thebraghouse.com, fill out your bracket, and as you guys fill it out, you guys can still join us for the rest of the Elite 8, the Final Four, and the championship, where we're giving away 15,000 brag bucks, as well as a ton of other cool prizes like JBL speakers, fire sticks, lots of other cool prizes. All you have to do, jump on the website, participate, and tune in to our live streams over the next couple of days. Next weekend, we're bringing you guys the Elite Four, or I'm sorry, the rest of the Elite 8, Final Four, and championship games. There's only 1 week remaining, guys. Around this time next week, we will know who the champion's going to be. So if you guys want to get involved now before you miss it.
Yeah, and I think you said it's like, you know, anything could happen. What do we love in March Madness? We love upsets. So
Absolutely.
I think we saw, you know, Texas, you know, beat a very, very good LSU team. Top ranked. They were strategic. They, you know, I think they came on a different strategy than just running gun, but, you know, they were a really good team. So, you know, I'm rooting for Virginia Tech hard, but, you know, I think we can see that, you know, as we saw Gonzaga yesterday, very skilled, very detailed.
Absolutely. Now, you know, Aim Juden, definitely, you know, an interesting player. He got really competitive yesterday. One of the things that we noticed most about him was, you know, he got started, but he started a little bit slower, a little bit more organized, a little bit more methodical. And then when he looked at the score, saw that he was down, he picked it up and in the last 10 minutes brought a win home.
He did.
Wow, did you just see him hop out the car and take out the squad?
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
That
that's
rocket
Gonzaga?
launcher. That was Freedom J. That was kind of, you know, me and Lavelle's kind
my
of
man ODB.
favorite player. You know, he joined us yesterday for a live stream where we talked a little bit with him and talked to him about the competition level. He said he was ready for today. He definitely didn't seem nervous, so I think he's ready to bring it today.
He absolutely wasn't nervous.
That's my man ODB, ain't it? With the gold
yeah.
hair?
He's representing Gonzaga pretty hard.
Oh, yeah.
That was an easy kill.
I'll drive.
Alright, back in.
So now they're back in the car. One thing that you'll notice, you know, you saw the same thing from Freedom J yesterday. He really used the team angle to manipulate the situation. Rode around with the squad the whole time, making sure that he had some assists. If they downed somebody, his teammates made sure that he got to get the kill.
Yep.
He's working, bro.
Yeah, nice. He got 2 kills there. I know it's the unconfirmed, but he definitely got him.
He been warming up since 5 a.m.
It looks like it.
I did tune into his stream earlier, and he was doing some work.
Okay.
Now, for everybody that's joining us, hasn't been here for the other matches right now, we do have an official score. The way that's working is we're trying to keep up with, you know, obviously all the players streaming in the competition. So what we've been doing is we have a team of people behind the scenes working with us to make sure that we keep the score up to date. So we're going to update you guys on the official scores every few minutes as they verify them. Right now, I have Virginia Tech beating Gonzaga 2-1 from Perry Rodney.
Yep. And I think that score is going to change because I'm trying to score this unofficially, and I know Freedom J is catching wreck.
Oh, yeah. So
Man,
Christian
he
Holland just said in the
took
chat,
out
Freedom J836 goated. Definitely, I think all 3 of us would agree with you. He is absolutely just murky it right now. Just threw a C4 at the truck.
Christian, don't retract your message. Let's I didn't see it, but I love the support.
I don't even know what you're talking about. Got back in the car. Shoot the car. Guys, explosives. I do.
So it looks like they just threw...
Some of your guys came on yesterday, in addition to Freedom J, you know, just some one of our interns, and I think you've been really proud of, you know, I know you're part of this platform because you appreciate, you know, what we're trying to bring together, and I know that was a big thing for you. So, you know, we were happy when we saw that, you know, interns going through the company also feel that same way, that pride.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
man, it's a great atmosphere, man. It's a great platform for guys to showcase their talent and, you know, get ranked.
Now, Devon, I know you obviously live for competition. This is your first, I believe this is your first esports, bracket tournament that you're kind of involved with. Yesterday, we saw your brother, as well as a few other University of Richmond players kind of represent. Unfortunately, Ohio State beat them and, brought it home. How do you feel it would go, Virginia Tech versus Ohio State in the final game?
Beat them once, we'll beat them again.
Okay, there we go. I think a lot of people jumped into their brackets assuming that it was going to be the same thing as traditional sports. If they're a college, football fan, basketball fan, you probably lean towards your, traditional team. But one of the things I really want to remind the viewers at home of is that this is completely different. These are fans, students of the school representing their school. This is, something that if you have been following these players, great. You have a huge competitive advantage. I know some of our competitors are even following the other players in the competition. But if you haven't, throw out every preconceived notion of what you think that your team's going to be performing like. Chances are if they're an all-star team, they probably have some all-star esports streamers. But we've already seen a couple upsets from, schools that I don't think we'd normally see somebody beat somebody else like that in a traditional sports game.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. March Madness is just upsets. That's what people want to see the game, but they more want to see an upset. So it's like that's what people want to see. I'm loving Freedom's play, by the way. This one. So Devon, we were talking earlier, and we had like a long discussion of squad and the tactical advantages of it. And I think at least Freedom picked up exactly where he did 2 days ago, and I feel like it's working.
You guys think it's a reset?
Hey, I keep telling you, we have a Virginia Texas engineering school, so these guys know a little something about a little something.
Oh yeah, they're ready for it. So Foster saying LSU in the chat. I'm assuming he did not watch our first game earlier this afternoon. Texas also was able to take down LSU. 11-7 was the final score.
That's a tremendous drop off from 49.
Oh yeah. So just to kind of recap, our first day, Spooky Streams had 26 kills. MJ Murillo 16, H House 7. Their second Elite 8 game, we had H House with 7, Spooky Streams with 5, bringing 21 less kills than his first game, and MJ Murillo bringing 10 less kills than his first game.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. I think, again, not to keep quoting Freedom, but, he said that yesterday. He's like, anyone could bring it. Any single day, someone could bring it. You never know. So you got to always be on your game. And I know that's probably the same, Devon, like, when you were playing in, football in both college and the NFL.
Well, it's different on the field because if you don't bring it, somebody can put your head on a platter. Same concept, just different playing field.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I know that Call of Duty continues to come out with, new game modes, new game modules. One of the cool things about this tournament that you guys did, Lavelle, is you guys brought, a brand new game. I don't even think that, Activision and Treyarch have, an esports scene built around the Battle Royale mode yet. You guys really were, like, first to market with this. It's really interesting because you guys kind of let them, exercise that whole Battle Royale mentality. Drop in as a squad, drop in, solo queue, drop in wherever you want. It's just about how many kills you get. The objective. Everyone has the same objective. How you go about getting that objective is up to you. So we're seeing a lot of very different, interesting play styles that you typically wouldn't see from just, one team versus second team, shoot 'em up, style FPS.
Yeah, exactly the reasons you said is why we chose Call of Duty. The reason why we wanted to, have that game out. But I think the good thing about our platform is I think, you can see how, much passion everyone came out. But there's still room for, for involvement, for us to evolve. So, we love to hear from the fans. I think the biggest thing that we do is we sit down and we say, hey, how do we do this better? What's going to make this even better? So, we ask people, reach out to us and let us know. If we can do something better next time, if you want to do something for your school, if you want to do some specific tournament just for your school, let's go ahead and do that.
Absolutely. You know, I know a few people were asking about doing 3 versus 3, every single university just having its own 3-man squad. That was a really interesting idea. You know, it's cool that you just kind of entertained that live, saying, you know, okay, we'll look at it. We'll see how viable that is. You know, I'm really excited to see kind of how this progresses as this game continues to update. It seems like they're adding a lot of new features that could really lend itself to kind of doing these hybrid style tournaments.
I'll hold it.
No, yeah, I mean, personally, I would love to see a 3-on-3 with every single school. I think, you know, it's like a 3. Who doesn't love a 3-on-3, you know, pickup game that you do in the park? So, you know, I think there's a lot of room for that, and we would love to do something like that.
So right now, real quick, we're going to cut over to the first Gulag match for Aim Juden. So Aim Juden is in the Gulag, his first one. It looks like he's up next. We're going to go ahead and cut our cams away for a moment so we can see what kind of firearm he's given. All right, looks like a revolver. Now, me and Devon talked yesterday about our, I guess you could say, lack of love or outright hate for the revolver in Gulag. Definitely a hard pistol to be accurate with.
It's a love-hate relationship.
He's chasing him.
So, guys, I mean, I'm counting unofficially.
I'm down 2.
That,
I'm
wow.
counting officially, but I feel like Freedom has a lot of kills.
Oh, yeah. Now, that Aim Juden play in the Gulag,
There's 2 now. One of them just revived.
I think that's the first time I've seen that. He just threw his gun on the ground, chased him down, and fist fought.
Wow.
That was crazy.
Tell them to look.
I've never seen that one before. You the GOAT for that.
Yeah, that was pretty G. So we got a second player in the Gulag now. We'll cut over to him real quick. Oh, looks like he just got a death.
All right, leave.
So we now have official score update. We have Freedom J with 11 kills. VT absolutely slaying Gonzaga 11-01 right now.
Kid.
So again, guys, be like really focusing on the players, letting the players kind of, you know, do their thing. So what we're gonna do is cut away just for a few minutes so you guys can enjoy it. Just a couple, you know, minutes of each player kind of streaming, seeing what they're doing. So here's Aim Juden representing Gonzaga.
Yeah, drone on chance. Oh, this isn't good.
Wi-Fi on your phone.
All right, let's go.
Are you ready? How fucking large is this building?
Yeah.
I don't know what happened there. Sorry.
Dude, that's 11. Let's go. We've got 35 minutes left.
Where's the roof?
Let's try to get like 25.
Gotta pick it up.
So as you guys can see here, you know, Aim Juden definitely,
Like 25.
you know, focusing on trying to catch up. I think that, you know, we've already seen VT come out, definitely say that they're not playing. They are ready for it.
More stairs.
So Lavelle, how do you feel? We're seeing Aim Juden right now. You know, he's doing good to catch up. Definitely not playing at the same, you know, level I think right now as VT though.
Does anyone have the score?
Let's see.
He's not?
We're not playing at a good level.
We'll be deploying shortly.
Dude, 11 kills? Our first game last time was 1 kill.
Yeah, that's true.
So they're actually talking right now. It looks like they're in a party together, and they're actually talking about our commentary. I think they confused themselves for Gonzaga. You know, they're clearly in the lead. Virginia Tech is absolutely slaying right now.
Maybe one of you guys uses MP7. Just so we're not all dipping in the same ammo pool.
I'm gonna skip the series. I'm pretty sure the only kill I got in that game was in the.
I'm using my.
So Lavelle, do you still feel like Aim Juden can bring this back? We've seen him bring it back one time, doing something absolutely crazy.
MP7 class.
So I guess what I'm really impressed by is that Freedom literally stepped it up as hard as he could. Like, I mean, he stepped it up. And I think that's what is just kind of like, wow. Like it's like, because that's what I'm saying. It's like we didn't know what kind of strategy people would come in today, and he said, hey, you know what? I'm going to stick with what worked, and the team thing worked, the squad thing worked, and I'm going to go 100% with that. And I mean, they are slaying. I mean, I honestly don't know who can really take them in the competition if they go forward.
I marked 2 of them.
Absolutely.
Make sure I
You mean the refs, the ref comment, Devon?
No, you don't think nobody can keep up with them going forward in the competition? I was like,
Yeah.
who us?
Yeah, I said if they move forward, it's like I really don't know, because I mean they are surgical in the way they play.
I just need Freedom J to keep doing what he do.
Yep, that's what we were saying. He literally just started. He said, you know what, where this worked, I'm just gonna keep doing this.
Christian wants to know what's the unofficial scores of right now.
So unofficial scores right now, Lavelle, do you have those handy?
I have Freedom, and I had Freedom J 11. I don't have MJ. I still have him at 1, but I think he has a little bit more kills than that. And Perry Rodney has 4.
We still got 50 minutes to go too, don't we?
Oh, we have we have I think we have like a half an hour to go.
Yeah, we have about 40 minutes to go.
Yeah, 40 minutes ago, yeah.
40, yeah.
So here goes our next gulag. Now this is Freedom J's second time to the gulag.
We did land together.
I'm taking notes on Freedom J today. He is.
Are you gonna? I mean, he's a fellow Hokie, so you should get a competition going with him, man.
Yeah, I need to add him.
So guys, if you're just now joining us for the esports competition, if you haven't already filled out your esports bracket, go over to thebraghouse.com. You can still fill out your bracket. Join us for the rest of the Elite 8. We have 2 more games coming up after this one. This is our second game of the afternoon. Right now, you're watching Gonzaga, top left, versus Virginia Tech, top right, bottom right. And we are on our way to the championship only a few days from now. So if you haven't already filled out your bracket, go to thebraghouse.com. Check it out. Fill out your bracket. Get involved. I'm here today with Lavelle Wan, CEO of the Brag House, who made all of this possible, as well as Devon Morgan, NFL college superstar. And we are watching some of the best esports competition I've seen in this game thus far.
So I think when we were talking earlier about, when you died in the gulag, obviously, and then you're like, if you're single, then you.
Hey, chill out, Freedom J. I'm sorry, Lavelle. Good. Did you just see that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, he took my man's out with the shotgun, played him with the sniper, and then played him again.
Yeah.
Come on. Get loose, free. You got to switch guns, bro.
Okay.
So I think Matt, they're trying to execute our strategy, your Hokies, and about picking one of their guys out if that happens. So I know they're looking for money as well. And again, that's their strategy. That could work, cannot work.
Absolutely. We've seen so many different strategies work. We've seen, a lot. I think equally as many fail. It's gonna be really interesting to see, what's the one that works the best. I think over the next couple of days we're gonna see it, but we're gonna be kind of figuring it out as everyone else at home is.
Yeah.
So here is the first gulag fight that I think I have seen from Perry Rodney. All right, so it looks like they were both given Desert Eagles.
We've still got 35 minutes. We're not even halfway done.
Now, Virginia Tech has been updated. It looks like Freedom J is at 13 kills total.
Yep, Perry just won his gulag.
So he's going to be dropping back in.
That's what's up.
NJ on an ATV trying to move quickly. Now, one thing that we were discussing yesterday is the use of vehicles, seeing how teams strategically place themselves with vehicles. Devon, I know you said you're a huge fan of the armored truck. Yesterday we saw the armored truck, pretty much lead Freedom J and his squad to victory. They, I think, almost constantly were driving around just literally hunting people at certain points of the match. Now we're seeing MJ get inside of a helicopter, take that across the map. It looks like you know, they're really picking up on each other's strategies, what's been working to get ahead in the competition.
Man, what I noticed was I like their strategy because it was on some straight gangster. I mean, they was pulling up and hopping out, smoking everything in sight, getting back in the truck, pulling up on the next group. I was like, oh.
Gotta look out for the boy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think that we just need to like.
I saw some exciting and interesting play, man, from a lot of guys, man. You know,
Oh,
I think
absolutely.
I think, and I don't necessarily think we want to call it a losers bracket, but I think we should make it like almost like an NIT bracket type of deal once you lose, for guys to still be able to earn, you know, brag bucks, maybe go half of it of what we were offering, or you know, a quarter of it.
I like that actually.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
And I think yeah, and I think, I mean, obviously, I think LSU they came out super hard, and the first game, and I know a lot of people like to see them. So yeah.
Well, you know, you guys could let us know too. If you guys, you know, if you have LSU fans, I know we've seen LSU fans in the chat. If you're an LSU fan, you know, if you're a University of Georgia fan, if you're a fan of a team that has already, you know, passed through the tournament and unfortunately didn't walk away with a victory, let us know in the comments if you guys are interested in seeing kind of a you know, third, fourth place bracket. If that's something that interests you guys, you know, just let us know. Again, one of the things I love most about the Bragg House, the team behind Bragg House, and what Lavelle kind of has led them through is they listen to the community. You know, they had an app beta. They listened to all the college students. They listened to the college sports fans that used it and actually made those improvements, made those you know, tweaks based off what users wanted to see more of. That's how this entire March Madness bracket came about.
Yeah, that's right. You know, and that's what I'm saying. It's like we put this together in like a matter of like, I guess, like 3 weeks, because, you know, one, I think we already had the testing, we had the boots on the ground, you know, and we kind of knew what people wanted at the time. So, you know, it was kind of an easy transition to us, but, you know, we're still in its infancy. So I think there's a lot of room for things we can do. And, you know, we would love to hear it. We'd love to hear from everybody. And we want to get them involved. You know, it's like, I love the 3-on-3 match that you mentioned earlier. I love the, you know, NIT approach that Davon just said. You know, I mean, that makes sense. You know, people want to play. I think that's it. People want to play.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
we want to give them that platform to play.
Absolutely.
Sees me.
Alright, it's not bad.
I took a shield.
So, Devon, how are you feeling about the competition so far?
Jack, let's get him.
Man, the competition is dope, but my man Jay is killing it.
He is.
I got one down.
I mean, killing it.
Watch the ATV coming.
You know what I liked about him too, Davon. He came on the air with us yesterday. He's such a humble cat too. He was a cool dude, just a humble cat, and just very meticulous in what he had to do.
Hey, there's a guy landing over there.
And I just got confirmation that the sergeant from Texas will be on the show later at our last match, so he can help us co-host with another against another Texas school.
Nice. That'll be interesting to see the great state of Texas duke it out.
There's guys shooting behind me. Alright,
One of the things, you know, I'm really excited to, you know, is we're interacting with the players. We're talking to the players, you know, before matches, after matches. It's really, really interesting to kind of see that. I haven't seen that in esports before, where, you know, you're really diving into like the after, you know, match, pre-match, you know, kind of player level analysis. Devon, I know that, you know, you're very comfortable with that. I'm sure you're very used to that. You know, I feel like that's a really good opportunity for players to get their names out there, you know, for their own branding. But more importantly, it's also a good opportunity for the schools to learn, you know, what players are playing for your team. You know, who is Freedom J? You've heard us talk about him for like 2-3 days. You may have even passed him around campus once or twice, but do you know who Freedom J is? You know, right now he's carrying Virginia Tech to the leaderboard. So over the next couple of days, you guys are going to know a lot of... Really?
I think I might have. I don't know. He looks familiar, but I don't know. The ODB is throwing me off a little bit, so maybe that would...
So let's see, right now, again, guys, we have all three players. MJ up in the top corner, 50 seconds left on his warm-up. Top right, we have Freedom J, the killer, the slayer, I believe the top kill holder in the entire tournament so far. He's been going around in a golf cart. This is the second day of him just using vehicles to absolutely slay people. Bottom right, we have Perry Rodney, who is, again, representing Virginia Tech, doing really, really well. Has actually dropped once or twice with Freedom J to help him kind of like lead, get more kills. I think they're hoping that as long as one of them is the one who drops the target, they're still getting points for their school.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually listening to some of their stream, and I mean, the coordination is amazing. You know, like timing, figuring out how much time you have left. You know, I wanted to ask you, Davon, if when you played when you played football, you know, was your strategy, and I guess it changed, but what do you personally feel about the strategy of like just keep, even if you're winning, just keep laying on points, or do you ease up at a certain point and kind of like you know, just kind of cruise, or you just keep until you pummel them?
Some of that had a lot to do with coaching. It depends on how much trash you talk. The excitement of the game, you know, the camaraderie and everything. Everything kind of all depends, you know. I mean, I will say my philosophy was, you know, and I played in the secondary. So regardless if you was a running back or you were a receiver, if you want to touch this ball, you're gonna pay for it. So I'm gonna be as physical as possible and make you not want it.
Well, the only time I actually despised you is when you were playing with the Eagles and you went against my New York Giants, and then I really couldn't watch TV and so watch you. But
that was back when they had Brandon Jacobs too. That was a big dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's don't leave. I'm gonna get a score.
Finish the job.
We will
Listen up,
leave. Just
soldier.
don't
Win
leave
here
yet.
and you return to the front line. But if you lose, you're done. You're up, soldier.
Yeah,
Now go.
let's not worry.
So right now we're watching Freedom J inside of the gulag. Just spawned. Looks like he has his menu up.
Alright, take us out.
So instead, it looks like his teammate also got down. So instead of continuing, what they decided to do is jump back to the menu, bring their party with them, and jump right back in. So we did notice that yesterday that was happening a little bit. We did notice a few times that people were not necessarily utilizing, you know, the gulag. Some people were kind of manipulating the gulag to kind of actually, you know, put them above. It's you know, obviously really helpful when it works out for you.
Let's just keep moving. Huh?
They keep saying, Mark, that you're carrying, like you're destroying.
Okay. No, let's just keep it going. I don't want to get complacent.
So right now we have Freedom J for Virginia Tech at 17 confirmed kills.
Wow.
Gonzaga, the last time it was updated, is updated at 2 kills.
Wow.
I should have sniped that guy.
Virginia Tech leading Gonzaga 17-2. I think this is probably the first big spread that we've seen between two teams in this entire competition.
Oh man,
This is a huge spread.
Oh, he
And,
tried to score.
you know,
He said they got six. They got six.
I think if the Final Four keeps up, man. I mean, I think if this holds, then we're gonna see Texas against Virginia Tech.
17-6. 17-6. We see your score, man. Get back to the game.
I'm gonna be on the other side of you.
Oh,
I think right now they are absolutely on fire.
On fire.
Freedom J just walking around with a shotgun.
And the sniper.
17-2. Let's go, guys.
It's a freaking graveyard on the roof right now.
There's always one spot that just everyone lands.
That's how it goes.
Time to kick this off.
So we'll fade back over. So right now we have Freedom J, top right, dropping in to a fresh match. Bottom right, Perry Rodney dropping into a fresh match. And then, of course, last but not least, AMJ dropping into a fresh match. So we got 3 fresh drops happening right now.
We got Kill Sergeant. 17-6 is what it's at. Let's just keep moving.
Battle Royale.
57 seconds on a drop for AMJ. So right now we have about a minute head start for Freedom J, Perry Rodney.
3 minutes.
Yeah, same as last. That's enough for a quick
Now it is 4:53, so we have approximately 22 minutes left. We have 22 minutes left in this round. Now we do have 17-2 right now as the official score.
Yep.
Good top. There's only 24 people left.
17-2, Virginia Tech
It's a lot.
slaying.
So right now, I don't know if you guys are listening to the in-game audio. You're hearing the two Virginia Tech players discuss the fact that, you know, there's 25 people left in the ring. Not that many people. They're entertaining the idea of actually jumping out just for more potential bodies to rack up in a fresh match. So you can see the layer, you know, the layers of complexity, the layer to the strategy that these guys are thinking on. I think this is why we've seen them continually lead for the last 2 days.
Wait.
I got it, guys.
A guy just ran in here.
Same direction again.
Let's cut over to Freedom J, leading the pack.
He's going left. Oh, I'm just getting shot.
I got him. He's still got his pistol.
Let's go ahead and full screen it.
Check onto it.
I'm good. Yeah. This house.
Continually dropping kills.
Got me. Jack, I'm running with Mark. I'm sorry.
I know they're everywhere.
That's 4 additional kills. 4 additional kills in one building.
How to effectively play as a squad.
Absolutely. So, Devon, how do you feel about your Hokie right here, man? He is just absolutely just tearing away from the pack.
I mean, the proof is in the pudding, man. Just sit back, grab your favorite snack, and tune in, man. This guy's putting on the clinic.
Team Mike.
He really is.
Team Mike. Hey, there's lots of them.
I'm coming back. Where should I go?
And another thing I learned about everything since we've been watching, and the more and more I watch, the more familiar you are with the board, the cuts, the corners, doorways, the better you are.
Oh, yeah.
And that's something I noticed I've been adjusting to as well, is adjusting to the new board, because, I mean, again, I was a blackout guy myself, you know, so.
So we finally saw Freedom J go down. He's going over to the Gulag. Let's go back over and tune in to MJ, who's now focused on trying to catch up. We still have plenty of time. Now, he did this yesterday, as Lavelle was mentioning earlier. We had a huge comeback from him. Just in the last 10 minutes, he had an absolute explosion. I believe it was like 5-6 kills just in the last like 5 minutes. So over a kill per minute.
Now, right?
I'm sorry?
Definitely still a lot of
My fault. We under 20 minutes right now, aren't we?
We are just now under 20 minutes. So there's approximately 19 minutes left in this match, guys. So we'll go ahead and fade back over to Freedom J. And the Gulag, ready for it this time. With a shotgun. Fast victory for him.
And normally, if no base was in zone, yeah.
He can't lose. He's on fire today.
I'm dead.
He's just destroying right now. Virginia Tech pulling ahead, even more so.
Oh, he's no shield.
Engaging an assault rifle with a pistol. That's who Freedom J is.
No, the confirm doesn't matter. It's not my kill.
Oh, I thought it was your kill.
Another one.
Guys.
Another one.
At this point, he's farming.
Yeah, there's a bunch of money right there.
Yeah, there's hella money. Just buy Jack back.
Oh, he got caught slipping running up the stairs.
I feel like there's someone here.
It's close, dude. It's right there. And I just head to that, honestly.
Who's dropping in now?
Just try to get Jack back.
So it looks like, I believe that's Freedom J that's discussing going and getting a buy pack right now. So he should be buying any second. I think that him and his team are trying to get loadouts.
Smart.
If there is.
Should get a UAV as well if they could.
Now, it depends, sometimes you'll find those kill streaks across the map. You can find all different types of stuff, deployable barriers, stuff like that. When these guys are buying loadouts, It's a pre-configured perfect loadout that they'd like to play with. You know, usually players, they have up to 15 loadouts available to them, so they'll pick a loadout that makes the most sense for, you know, the situation that they're actively going for. As you can see from the two Virginia Tech players, both of them are, you know, obviously set up for run and gun, fast movements. They're not wasting any time like clearing buildings. If they don't see somebody to kill, they're moving on.
Yeah.
So let's focus back over here. MJ, now, same thing that happened to him yesterday. He's not really seeing any players to connect with. That being said, he also had an explosion yesterday. So let's see what happens today as this match concludes.
Yeah. I don't know what the lead was, but he definitely was down for a better part of the matches yesterday, and he came back.
Honestly, I think the best of
Yeah, you guys feel pick me up. Okay.
there should be a critical for on me.
There you go.
What are you doing?
Yeah, get that money.
Just got it.
That's
Do you have
close.
shield
You just
cell?
need a little bit more money.
You need one?
What?
There's a shield for you.
Where? Oh, thanks.
Alright, we're going towards the ground.
So we'll go ahead and fade back over to all three players so you guys can kind of see. Now we are getting into the last 15 minutes. So we're at 16 minutes left right now.
I see it. He's in the building. Right here, right here.
I got it.
Whole team, whole team.
Two. I'm pushing around
Yep.
left.
I just down one of them.
For a wide flank. That's fine.
Oh. I was still in the front, that's why I stopped.
I downed one. They got the res. Let me get. Okay, that's fine.
The bounty target is down. Well
He
done.
was shooting at me, I had to do it.
No, it's all good. Loot up.
Yep.
Where's buy station? Can you get a chance?
Alright, so we have MJ going back out to the menu, trying to join back into another match. We still have 15 minutes. A catch up,
There's an
you know,
ammo
potentially upset could still happen, but right now the official score is still coming back. I believe as of both players' last death, 17-2.
Like threes, really get swarmed by fucking like 7, 8, 9.
I'm not gonna buy a loadout. I'm not gonna buy a loadout crap yet. There should be derp guns around.
You guys have plates?
I have two.
I'm a boss.
So it looks like Gonzaga is back in. I think he may have lost connection or something.
No, I don't think he lost connection. I think he backed out of that last match. He
Okay.
reconnected to the lobby. Now he's jumping back into a fresh one. In the meanwhile, let's go ahead and jump back over to thus far the competition's golden boy, Freedom J, dropping the fire, keeping it going.
Someone pop a UAV before they get in.
I don't have one.
Friendly
Yeah,
loadout
I have
drop on
one.
the way.
Let's go to the loadout. Don't pop it. Don't pop
Friendly
it.
UAV
Oh, my bad.
No, you're good. Honestly, it makes it better. We're at least safe getting the
But
loadout.
it's smart for not buying it, Jack.
Gas is closing in. Relocating the
Nice.
safe zone.
Like I said, it's
14 minutes left.
Let's go ahead and fade over to the full screen for a minute. They're about to get into some action, so they're getting fired on.
Saw flare.
I'm getting unofficial scores that Freedom may have at least another 9 confirmed kills.
I think there's guys in that town, yeah.
This guy is just going off.
He is
Yeah,
going
he-
down.
Bananas.
I hate driving.
So just to update everybody that's just now joining us, yesterday we had, again, Freedom J absolutely dominant. Virginia Tech versus Florida State. Freedom J brought them the win with 34 kills compared to FSU's high of 17. As you just saw, as he blew up that truck, he's going off. He's going to continue going off, as I suspect.
Oh,
Now, right now, as of right now, he is at least positive 28, 29 possible kills. So as soon as we get that confirmed, we'll update you guys on the official score. You know, at this point, I think that this is, you know, pretty much won. Again, anything could happen, but I believe Freedom J is going to continue to be a leader in this tournament. I don't see Virginia Tech losing this at this point.
Yeah, I definitely think my horns have a lot to worry about next week. But you know, that's the point of March Madness right now.
They got to get there first, man. Now hold your horses. Now they got to get there first.
Oh, you didn't see that jinx I tried to do too.
So, guys, again, if you're just now joining us, earlier today we had our first game, LSU versus Texas at Austin. Right now you're watching Gonzaga versus Virginia Tech. Now, what are you watching? This is the first Esports March Madness bracket ever done before. First time we've ever seen traditional sports, Esports blended together. Who do we have to thank for it? It's the Brag House. And if you haven't heard of the Brag House is the all-in-one platform for everything and all things college sports. If you haven't checked it out, go over to thebraghouse.com where you can still sign up for a bracket. You can still jump into the competition. They're giving away all types of crazy prizes, everything from cash, $15,000 in brag bucks, JBL speakers, Amazon Fire Sticks, all different types of cool stuff. All you have to do is jump in, have fun. There's no cost. Sign up for an account and get involved.
There's another guy right here. I think.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
Ooh, the C4 got him.
Right here, right here. I took a shield.
Goodness.
He's right behind that crate. He sees me. He only sees me.
Them boys have so much loot.
Yeah, that's been their strategy too, making sure they get loot so they can bail out people.
They are huge fans of the C4, just like throwing a block of C4 at something, just like not really caring if it, like where it lands, just blowing up midair.
I used to be a frag guy because I'll hold and cook a frag before I release it. So by the time it landed, it exploded. But after seeing what the C4 is doing, it's like, yo, this is a lot better.
Oh man, I'm all about the Claymore. I'm all about the Claymore. Have a vehicle charging at you, put a Claymore on the ground.
Oh, I guess it's good. I think they just picked it up. They just picked it up.
Let's go back over. And Jay. Trying to get a kill on the helicopter. Got one. Connected. Going for a second kill.
I got the E-Link.
Yo, this is actually running. Come here. Yo, this plane is about to go down.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Into the gulag.
I think I just crashed it.
Okay, let's take it by foot.
Guys, we are now in our last 10 minutes.
Relocating the safe zone.
I just got
Gotta go hard.
Yeah, if you see
Me saying that we did see Gonzaga come back really hard with a passion yesterday's game. So I think it's kind of out of reach now, but you know that could be me just trying to jinx Davon's team though.
Now, honestly, Lavelle, I'm going to be real with you. I don't see that happening at this point. You know, Gonzaga had a hell of a comeback last week. I mean, he would have to drop almost 26 kills in the next 10 minutes. So if he killed, you know, a little over 2 people a minute, that comeback could happen. But I'm pretty sure we're going to see Virginia Tech advance from this.
I'm gonna confirm.
Yeah, we got this one in the bag.
There's a sniper around the corner. Different area.
I see him.
He's in the
In the bag.
in the thing. That was a really bad spell out, but
Yeah, I took a lot of shield off him.
let me see if I can hit him.
I got this other guy one shot. There he is. Oh, is he just gonna outgun me? Yeah, he is.
Yeah. I'm gonna
Come with me, come with me.
here, I'm gonna see if I can draw him. Yeah, he sees me. He sees me.
All right, so let's see. MJ dropping back into a match. Let's go ahead, cut back over to our champ, Freedom J.
I need to play it up real quick.
So next up, guys, we have another Elite 8 match coming up. We have UVA versus Vanderbilt. Alex Killjoy really brought the noise yesterday. Really a highly anticipated matchup. You know, Alex definitely, you know, he has a completely different play style. He's been studying his competition from the beginning of this tournament, making sure that he watches their streams, watches the other matches, and I think we saw how that outcome, you know, produced for him yesterday. Now, tonight, he's up against a much different team. Jay Quinn and Arbeck both really brought the noise. C. Fonger did as well, but Jay Quinn really carried the team in yesterday's game. So it's going to be interesting to see if Alex can put Jay Quinn and Arbeck down.
And we're going to have Arler Grande, who represents Dayton, who went up against UVA and lost as our co-host. So we're going to be able to get his insight, kind of see his strategy, you know, kind of like what he would think, would he change anything.
7 minutes left.
Absolutely. So, as you just heard one of the players state, you know, we do have 7 minutes left until we go to our next break.
I think, Matt, I believe we got an update from a confirmed score for Freedom J.
Yeah, you gotta go wherever's hottest.
And let's see. So our updated score, oh my goodness. Freedom J, 33 to Gonzaga's confirmed 2.
Wow.
Devon, how are you feeling?
30 kills,
Hey man, shout out to Freedom J, man, the Hokies, man. That's the way. That's how you do it.
Absolutely, representing the Hokies. I know you're a lifelong Hokie, big Hokies fan. I'm sure you're proud of your guys right now. I know yesterday Freedom J did mention, you know, having you on the stream, having you shout out the Hokies, give that team love. Really, really, like, you know, brought up the ambition, the hype factor. I'm sure that's like playing in today. You know, if you had to talk, if you were able to talk to him right now, what would you say?
Hey man, just keep being raw, man. Just keep the strategy going. Now you might have to switch it up because I'm sure some guys on here taking notes. But at the end of the day, man, you know, you guys out there looking like the Bulls. You know, 95 Bulls running and gunning. You Jordan.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So the question is, would you buy the Freedom J shoes? That's the question. He's like, hey, that's gonna be a stretch now. They'd be cheaper than the Yeezys though.
Gonzaga just showed their score.
So it looks like Gonzaga, I believe, is getting updated right now.
Somebody had 17, 4, and 1, I think.
I just got killed and landed on my head.
Now let's go.
So we'll go ahead and transfer it back to our 3. Now again, top left, Gonzaga, that's AMJ repping the team. Top right, we have Freedom J, the all-star, 33 points, 33 kills confirmed in 1 hour. Bottom right, we have Perry Rodney. Now, Perry Rodney and Freedom J have been running together the entire match in a party, in a squad. I believe now both of them are solo queued. So they're both jumping back into it. At this point, I believe Virginia Tech can comfortably celebrate the victory. 33-3 is the most up-to-date confirmed kill count.
Nice work. Nice work.
That's awesome.
So as of this whole competition so far, as of right now, I believe the only person that has come close to this many points was yesterday, Freedom J, who brought 34 points for Virginia Tech against Florida State. So 2 days in a row, our top producer, top fragger, he's definitely going to be a player to watch. I imagine that we're going to be seeing him in the Final Four, if not the championship.
So, who else had Virginia Tech in the Final Four?
It's going to be interesting. Now, I'm sure that you guys have your own philosophies about who's going to be going there. You know, if I had to pick it right now, you know, just me. So we have Texas and Virginia Tech, you know, most likely moving forward. You know, from there, later on, we have UVA versus Vanderbilt, Texas Tech versus Ohio State. I think it'd be really interesting to see Texas Tech versus Virginia in the end. I could see that happening. That would be interesting. You know, UVA and Vanderbilt both had very interesting play styles, though, so it's going to be interesting to kind of see what they can come up with, what they're going to be able to do, and how they're going to unleash their strategies with, you know, obviously what we've seen so far Freedom J today do, what we've seen Gonzaga do, our earlier games this morning, LSU and Texas. You know, if they're watching, I'm sure that they're learning, and I'm sure that they're going to adapt by the time their games come up today.
Yeah.
And it's going to be Virginia Tech, Virginia, Ohio State, and who else? Who? Texas.
Texas.
That's
Texas Tech is playing Ohio State. So you're calling Texas, Virginia Tech,
Virginia, and
UVA.
Ohio State.
in Ohio State.
All right. So here's my chance to get back at your bracket, Devon.
I mean, Cincy 4 for Ohio State went crazy yesterday.
Yeah,
So
That's true. That's true.
he went crazy yesterday.
So,
I'm still up at my guy MJ Murillo, man. I thought they were gonna kill it.
yeah,
So,
MJ Murillo
they did-
definitely. I think he brought it the same kind of way we saw him bring it yesterday. The big difference was Spooky Streams. You know, Spooky Streams yesterday brought 26 kills for his team. Today he brought 5. So, you know, LSU definitely showed up a little bit differently today than they did yesterday. Not a big deal. You know, Sergeant Bean definitely brought it yesterday for his 17-6 victory over University of Georgia. I think Texas at Austin obviously displayed why they deserve to be in that Final Four earlier today. It's going to be really interesting to see Bean how he represents Texas and if they're going to progress forward. Now, obviously, their next big matchup is going to be Virginia Tech. From seeing Freedom J today, I'll be honest, my hope is slightly diminished.
So I will say though that, you know, Texas changed up. You know, we talked about LSU changing their strategy, being a little bit more strategic. Texas definitely changed their strategy. They were just run and gun the whole time, and I think one of the things we noticed with the sergeant, he was much more strategic, tried to pick his location. You know, he was very, very careful what he did, and he just said, I'm just going for kills. And honestly, I think that probably was the smartest thing. So, but, you know, it's hard to see, you know, him going up against Freedom J, but that's why we have the Final Four. Anything could happen.
So Freedom J at that point, I think he knows that he's comfortably brought home the victory. He's just 360 no-scoping at this point, just jumping around in circles, trying to just get random shots off. So again, guys, if you're just now joining us, you are watching the first ever Esports March Madness bracket. Now, if you haven't already gotten involved, you can easily go get involved, join us. We still have plenty of games left. We have 2 more games left for this afternoon, as well as the rest of the Final Four and championship game coming to you over the next week. If you're just now joining us, go to thebraghouse.com, as you can see in the link below. Fill out your esports bracket and get ready, because we have 2 more games coming at you. Later on, we have UVA and Vanderbilt coming to you in 15 minutes, and after, Texas Tech versus Ohio State. So we are going to know who our Final Four are at the end of the evening. If you're just now joining us, you have time. We're going to go on a 15-minute intermission. During that time, fill out your bracket. If you guys are watching this on Twitch, watching it on YouTube, go down below, hit that subscribe button. The Brag House is going to continue to bring you up-to-date esports content, all things college sports, all the time. We'll be back in 15 minutes. Devon, thank you so much for joining us today as we watch Virginia Tech absolutely rep the school, destroying Gonzaga in today's Elite 8 match.
Let's go. Let's go, Jack.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you guys for having me, man. Go Hokies.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Devon.
Now I'm gonna buy y'all back.
Show up and Haas to be better.
Yeah, let's go now. That's sweet.
What's up, Lavelle?
What's up, man?
What is going on, everybody? This is Matt Parks back with the first ever Esports March Madness bracket. I'm joined here by Lavelle Wan, CEO of the Brag House, creator of this crazy new first of its kind concept that has never been done before, that we are all enjoying right now. With us today, we have an amazing guest. So, Lavelle, if you'd like to kick it off, I'll let you guys take it from here.
Well, we have one of our great players, Ariel Grande. I know Brad for a while, and he represented Dayton hard. It was a really good game, actually. Brad, we were really, really impressed.
It's fun to compete, man. Appreciate y'all having me.
So
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for coming back, man. And, I guess the first thing is, like, how did you enjoy it, man? Did you enjoy the competition? Did you enjoy the platform?
Oh, yeah, battle royales are always a very chaotic competition, so you never know what you're going to get. It's always a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you guys, brought your A game yesterday. Unfortunately, will not be, progressing. So I believe you're going to be co-hosting this game with us today. Now, with that being said, you guys played against one of these teams yesterday, and you guys, definitely brought the noise. Brought it as obviously as hard as you guys could. That being said, Dayton was defeated by UVA. But did you have a lot of fun with the competition? Have you ever done an esports comp like this before?
I have not, no. This is my first tournament. It's going to be interesting getting to see UVA play from this point of view now. Having played against them yesterday, I didn't get to see them play at all. So it's going to be interesting to see what knocked me off the tournament here.
What did you think of their play? Did you think they were, well, I guess you didn't get a chance to watch them, though, so you were playing your own game, though. So
Yeah.
What kind of strategy did you go in? We were talking earlier today, Brad, about just running gun, squads. Even if you play solo, you can still join a squad. What is your favorite strategy?
Yeah, I wish I had known about joining the squad. I think in hindsight. Honestly, my strategy was to just drop in hot every time and find as many people as I can. I think that turned out to bite me a little bit because you end up taking a lot of early deaths. Even if you get 2 to 5 kills in a quick hot drop and you get out in 10 minutes, that's still a lot of lobby waiting time and queuing time and things like that. And that adds up. So I think, honestly, the long game might be a pretty good strategy too. But there's a good balance. You don't want to play too tight of a circle because when it gets too close to the end game, you're just looking at, very slow play.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, I know that, for you yesterday, you were definitely doing like the run and gun model. You were really like running after it, going after, as many kills as you can. Looking back in hindsight, would you have played more strategically or, slowed it down? I really feel like running and gunning was really what won for everybody yesterday.
Yeah, I think I would have tightened it up a little bit just because I was playing a little reckless. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, that might be the way to go, run and gun.
Absolutely.
You got to play aggressive. You got to get those kills,
So with that being said, what I want to do is go ahead and phase this in. So once again, Brad, thanks for joining us. Thanks for co-hosting this competition with us. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cut over to Alex Killjoy, another big performer yesterday. And he's actually getting ready to do his first drop-in. So right now he is 14 seconds away from his first drop. And yesterday, really led his team. And really like brought the noise. Really brought the noise.
Okay, you see me.
So I believe yesterday he was playing in total. Let's see. He brought Lavelle. How many kills did Alex? 13 kills in his win for Vanderbilt against the University of Cincinnati yesterday.
I know he was one of your favorite gamers yesterday, Matt.
Okay. Well,
oh, absolutely, man. The strategies that we saw from him, we saw a lot of different, like, really cool insights from him. So now we're gonna jump into a few different gamers, show you guys a few different people. For instance, here is Arbake97. So he also brought a lot of noise. He had a lot of energy for everybody. He really had, an aggressive play style, but it also very much worked for him. So it's gonna be, two of my favorite players in this whole competition so far are in this match right now. So we'll see how it goes.
An extra shield plate.
Now, Brad, what's your favorite element of this game? Like, is it battle royale versus other battle royales? I'm sure you played PUBG, other stuff like that. What makes this one different for you? What have you been enjoying about it? It's only been out for a couple weeks.
So Call of Duty compared to other battle royale games?
Yeah, absolutely.
So Call of Duty specifically has always just been kind of that fast twitch aiming shooter game. A lot of other battle royales tried to do that, but they couldn't quite get it like the Call of Duty franchise has. It just feels really responsive. It's a real sharpshooter. So bringing that to the battle royale genre is pretty cool.
Absolutely. Now, and what are you playing on PC? Are you playing on console?
I'm on PC.
PC, okay. Yeah, PC. It definitely feels like I feel like they have a competitive edge. I think some of our gamers would definitely say not, but when I've been playing on my own, you can definitely tell when you're up against a console player aim-wise.
Yeah. So I come from console. I gotta say, mouse is the way to go. Like if you're gonna hit your shots, it's gonna be with the mouse. Now, Call of Duty's a little different though because they do have a very good aim assist with the controller that kind of blends into your skill level and makes it really good. Makes controllers very competitive. When it comes down to it, a good controller player is going to beat an average PC player every day. There's also the matchmaking thing, which is an issue. PC players are in PC matchmaking lobbies, so they're playing against other PC players. You do see a lot of controllers and stuff in your lobbies, but those are usually guys who have reached that matchmaking skill level.
Absolutely. I've played against consoles and this one. Cross-platform is really interesting. The thing I like about the way that the Bragg House kind of formed this tournament is that every single player can kind of pick on their own. Do I want to go in with the squad? Do I want to go in solo? Do I want to, run and gun, play more strategic? You can really, kind of pick your own adventure if you would. I think that as this game continues to add play modes, we're going to see a lot of interesting opportunities for different tournament types.
So Brad, that you said about PC, I know Matt feels the same way about PC. Interestingly, I don't know if you got a chance before you joined to see Freedom J from Virginia Tech, who literally just caught wreck, 34 yesterday, 34 today. We had him on yesterday. He used an Xbox One, and he literally, I don't think anyone can hold him in the competition. I mean, literally, they were way ahead of anyone.
Yeah, man. Like I said, the difference is kind of marginal when it comes to skill levels of players.
Yeah.
It really comes down to how good someone is, whether it's controller or PC.
Yeah.
They're gonna do well if they're good,
Absolutely. Now, one of the things I've really found interesting about, especially about this battle royale, is that if you looked at PUBG, if you looked at some of the other battle royale shooters, the drops were pretty easy to plan. One drop, like for instance PUBG, everyone would drop at school or hospital, like pretty much guarantee yourself the same quality of loot every single time. Modern Warfare, I think, really did a good job of loot distribution, where they made it kind of, you don't know what you're going to get from time to time every time you drop. Sometimes there's a case, sometimes there's no case. There's a few spots that have become very much hotbeds, but by no means are they guaranteed to be the immediate I'm gonna find epic loot here every single time.
Don't kill me up there.
That's true. And I actually made the mistake of thinking that there were spots where more players tend to drop. My advice to anyone playing now is just drop where drop the spots that you know where the loot spawns, where to engage players in gunfights and things like that. Just go where you know.
Now I'm gonna cut over real quick. So we are seeing our very first Gulag fight. Now this is the first Gulag fight for one of our top players from yesterday, Alex Killjoy, getting ready to go and do his first one.
Oh yeah. Worst case we get killed and we'll reset. They could try.
Now we have Jay Quinn as well sitting inside of the Gulag. Jay Quinn yesterday won almost every single one of his Gulag matches.
These kids aren't taking shots at us, which is weird. Alright, shots. Jackson, shots out here. North.
So as you guys can see, if you're first time joining, haven't seen how the Gulag works, it's a 1 versus 1 final kill opportunity. If you win, you can be lucky enough to actually end up back in the game. So as you just saw right now, we just saw a victory from Jay Quinn, 777. He's going to be jumping back into the match without having to jump back to that menu for respawn, which is, again, a huge advantage of jumping in with a squad versus having to go back in on your own.
Yeah, and I think we saw that from Virginia Tech too. They were looting, making sure they had enough money to get their players out if they needed to.
Absolutely. So we're bringing the action right now. All these players are really chasing kills. Lavelle, do we have an updated score for right now? Confirmed score?
I don't. I actually just sent a message to our back office to try to figure out what our score is. But so far I haven't seen a confirmed kill yet. But we will let you know as soon as we get it.
All right. So again, while we're waiting for that official score, let's go ahead. I'm going to show you guys all three of our UVA players. So top left, we have Arbate 97. Top right, we have Jay Quinn. Bottom right, we have Z Fonger, who right now looks like he just quit out to get a better drop. And of course, representing by himself, Alex Killjoy.
And we already saw the Texas match, though. You could be by yourself and still upset. You know, and that's what we tried to do, Brad. You know, what do you think of that, style? And like we wanted to make sure that every player was judged by their individual kills. So you can see an upset, which is like the reason why people like March Madness for something like that.
Yeah, definitely. When it comes down to kills like that, you could make way for a real Cinderella story. So maybe we'll see that right here. We got a 1v3.
Exactly.
Sometimes you lose teammates during the tournament. You get injuries and all that stuff. So, technical difficulties can happen.
Absolutely.
But we'll see.
So right now we're watching Alex. Now Alex did kind of bring that noise yesterday. He really brought a lot of competition. It's going to be interesting to see, kind of how he brings it back today. I think that he was probably one of the most researched, well-versed players walking into this. He actually watched every single game. He was actually sitting there commenting alongside me and Lavelle as we were broadcasting, letting us know how he was analyzing the competition day by day. And it's definitely, I think, had an impact on his play style. He saw some things that he said he was going to adjust from on day one, and going into day two, it looks like he's even more ready to kind of run and gun, drop into hot spots, and just go after frags.
So I think Z Fonger, we have a confirmed 2 kills.
Z Fonger confirmed.
Yeah, I'm still alive.
Well, let's see if I make
So Alex going to a buy station. Now, so I'm really interested, Brad. How do you feel about the vehicles? Do you think the vehicles are a big strategy?
I was buying stuff too,
helping you win?
The vehicles, in my opinion, are completely overpowered. I find them more useful for killing other players than for actually
driving around,
getting into the storm and things like that, and using it to travel. They're just great to run people over. One of the things about that is you get the same turning radius going backwards as you do going forward, so it's real easy to control. It's real hard to get out of the way of a truck that's coming towards you. So yeah, vehicles are great.
Now I think I have 15 to 20 confirmed helicopter blade kills so far.
Jeez.
So that's been a big one for me. I'll just kind of sweep you right off the roof.
So our unofficial and how we rank is we wait until they die so we can see the official score, but our unofficial is that it's tied at 2-2.
Come on, man.
Vandy
and So if you're a Vandy fan, if you're a UVA fan, let us know in the chat. Support your players. The players are watching the chat. They can see your comments, guys. So cheer on your guys. Alex Killjoy again, the all-star from yesterday, up against a pretty solid group of guys. Jay Quinn, Arbe, Z Fonger, all three of them yesterday represented really well, pretty consistently between the three of them as well. As you saw Alex just explain why he's a leader, dropping that person really, really fast. So K Mintz just asked, what is the schedule for today? So K Mintz, it's actually available right in the footer of this video. Just so you guys know, if you're just now joining us, it is not too late. You can still fill out your esports bracket. You can still jump into the fun. What this is the first ever of its kind March Madness hybrid with esports competition. So still showing the pride and love for the schools that you represent. still, you know, the competitive nature of that school versus school, you know, like passion, that history. The only difference is it's a brand new arena and the fastest growing sport in America, esports. What you're seeing in front of you today is Call of Duty Warzone, the hottest.
Killjoy just ended a game with 6 kills. And then we have Jay Quinn and Z Fonger, 2/3 out of the UVA team, who ended their game with 3 kills total.
Points as he can. It's definitely not the, you know, easiest thing to do, I think, you know, running solo, but
I just got the official back. I'm not sure it was updated, but I got a text and it's tied 5-5. So they are 5 confirmed kills. So Vandy, UVA tied, and we're not even in 10, 15 minutes into the game.
Now we got a separate player from UVA, Arbake 97. He's the one not playing on a team. So the other 2 guys are playing on a team together. He's playing on a team with randoms, or whoever he chooses. And right now he just got picked back up. He's got 5 kills in his game, so we can expect him to close this one out with 5 or more.
So it's gonna be a high scoring game. You know, we've already seen, you know, Alex can definitely bring those high score points. Last game, if you guys weren't joining with us, you know, if you didn't catch it, Freedom J dropping 34 points in the 30s 2 days in a row, really bringing that noise, really bringing the energy, but more importantly, obviously the victory. So Alex right now, you know, setting a pace, but UVA is right there matching them point for point. So I think this one's going to be a tight one.
Yeah, this one's going to be close.
I'm doing, every time I get the loadout dropout, I'm doing the AK-47. It seems to be the one I get the most kills with so far.
So as you can hear, you know, you're hearing a couple different gamers. Alex Killjoy talking about his strategy. He's a big fan of the AK-47. You know, they're going through the you know, the loadouts. As you get a box, as you get a drop, you can obviously use that drop and, you know, go through and you know, kind of you know, just play. It looks like he's really playing with different kinds of things. So, you know, K Mintz asking for the description to the video, so we'll go ahead and put that inside of the chat.
So you guys are aware, warm-up kills don't count either, because that would be kind of funny.
So if you're watching on Twitch, go ahead, look at the chat. You can fill out your bracket. If you're just now joining us, again, guys, it's not too late. You can still get a lot of points. Right now, what you're watching is a showdown, single-handedly, Vanderbilt, represented by Alex Killjoy, UVA by Arbake, Jay Quinn, and Z Fonger, in the first ever Esports March Madness bragget from the Brag House.
And UVA coming off national championships for men's basketball, so I feel like there's a lot of pride to try to repeat in our first esports bracket. So I'm not. I know you like Alex, Matt, but I think UVA really wants that. So they have my pick.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting, I think, to see kind of how these guys, you know, all play throughout the whole match. All these dudes are high scorers. They're all runners and gunners. So, you know, it's gonna be really just who has the best game today.
Yeah.
It looks like Alex is putting up a fight here.